Laredo, take us out.
Take her out.
All right. Take flight each and every Friday night. Join the fun and let's go off-world. Geek out with us live where the nerdiness will thrive. Buckle up and let's go off-world. Toys, comics, pop culture news, movies and so much more. Matthew, Jesse, Curtis, and Sean are your guides on this fun-filled tour. Take flight each and every Friday night. Join the fun and let's go off-world. Let's go off-world. Let's go off-world. Hey, hey, hey. Let's go off-world tonight.
Woohoo! Welcome to the shit show that is OffWorld.
That's us.
That is us. And tonight's episode is titled
Get ready for your Friday night Fecophilia fix on.
Wow.
Sure words were never spoken.
Wow, you can say that, but you can't say warm digital welcome.
You got to have a couple in you before you start doing a digital welcome. I'm just saying. So
Everything's better with a couple in you.
yeah.
Okay.
Couple on you.
Well, it's Friday. It's OffWorld. Little housekeeping beforehand. My electricity has gone off 6 times now today. It goes off and then it comes back on like 30 seconds later, but it takes a while for the Wi-Fi to reset. So if I just magically disappear, no, it's not that I'm just mad at Duch. While that is probably also the case, that is not why I left.
You know that's how it's gonna happen too, right? Like one of us is gonna say something to piss you off, and then you're just gonna be gone.
Yep.
But I am doing well tonight. I'm excited to hang out with my friends and have a good time. We've also got the rest of the crew here. Jesse, how you doing, sir?
I am here, and there's a show, and we're talking about stuff. So yeah,
Nice.
apparently it's a shit show according to you. But
Yeah.
you know,
It can be.
You what sounded like you were working through that, like on Elf when he's trying to come up with the song, like he's just thinking of it as he goes. Like you sounded like that. Like I'm
it's
on
very
a
sweet of you to
show
think that I was thinking while I was talking.
That was
I'm on a
probably the
show, and we're gonna talk about things, and I'm here.
that was probably the best recommendation for a show ever since Curtis is I'm on OffWorld. It's okay.
Sean.
But at least I'm doing it on the actual show and
That's
not someone
true.
else's
This
show.
is true. This is true. Sean, how you doing tonight, sir?
I can't complain. My wife made me sit through Footloose before this. So if I start dancing, it's because I got some Kevin Bacon spirit in me.
So she
apparently.
listened
Hallelujah.
to us. She's trying to stop you from that path you're going down to becoming the father on. Oh,
Oh, gotcha. Because you wouldn't let
wouldn't let your son dance
last week.
That's
Yeah.
true. I
Yeah.
didn't even put those
yeah,
two
she's
together. but
trying
yeah.
to right your
Yeah.
path.
Yeah, apparently. And my cat
Good
won't leave me
call.
alone either. So there's that. So
Yeah, I mean, dancing can lead to so many things. It's really the gateway to everything bad.
Mhm.
So,
this is true. This is true. John
Did you go to
Lithgow
the same
said so.
college I went to?
no, I did not.
Because that was the butt of every joke that, you know.
Dance
Yeah.
dad.
John Lithgow was running your college. He was the
No.
dean.
That'd be awesome.
And we got Duch. Tonight's
Hi.
episode, In Duch We Trust. Why
I-
should we trust you, Duch?
Dude, I have no idea. You're the one who said you're trusting me. I told you it was a bad idea. So
Yeah, that
This
whole
is-
thing was
I
Curtis's
mean,
idea. I don't
that's what I'm
know.
saying. Like, this is on Curtis, however this goes. But,
Gotcha.
So first off, congratulations, boys. Season 2 on. We kind of buried that a little bit, but yeah, we second season here, made it a whole year, didn't kill each other, so that's an accomplishment.
Yeah, we even saw each other in person and still didn't kill each other or even attack one another. Which was nice.
No.
Mhm.
Couple of us
I felt attacked
cuddled in bed
times
together, and it was good.
like that.
Those weren't pillows, though. I'm just gonna say that right now.
God,
Those were not pillows.
That wasn't a
slept on the
pickle in my
floor.
pocket either.
I went to mute myself and embiggen myself instead. That's nice. Yeah, let me
Should
embiggen
be
myself
Guinness.
so I can cough right into the mic.
That's perfect.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
not like you're spreading it anymore that way.
Yeah,
Right.
that's true.
Oh, and all of a sudden just covers his camera. Like, oh. Yeah, kind of like that.
Kind of show.
Ah.
I
So-
do see we have a handful of people out there watching
go
us
Then
that
I got a
apparently have
story.
nothing better to do on a Friday night.
No kidding.
We've got Eddie out there. I see Dork Lair, Scott Baker, and there's a couple other people that are not talking because they don't want people to know that they're here watching us. So
Mhm. I will say I do not see Joe in the chat. Does anyone have his number? Can we reach out to
yeah,
him?
we may need to do a wellness check on good.
Yeah,
Topic.
maybe call the local
I know
police
he's
department.
He sometimes travels on the weekend. I
That's
think
true. That's
I don't
true.
know. I don't know if that's something going on tonight or not.
Well, Joe, if you're watching this on replay, like, hey, let us know your travel plans from now on. That way we don't have to worry about you. All right.
Yeah, and if you're dead, don't worry about getting a hold of us because you're busy, obviously. So
If you could still like and subscribe, though, that'd be great, Joe.
yeah.
From the afterlife.
Yes.
Eddie says Curtis would like the whiteout look. So Duch was making fun of me before the show, just so you know.
I was worried about your hair. I thought maybe there was a mishap. Scissor went the wrong way. A fight with a lawnmower in the snow.
No, I went through this phase over the summer where I bought several hats, and this is one of the ones that I just had never worn. And I was like, oh, it works well with my sweatshirt, and I thought it looked cool, so I figured I'd wear it for the show. So
No, it doesn't. It does match well. It's a different look for you.
gotcha.
He looks like he's gonna do a few holes out back with a bunch of guys at the country club. He's got it's a little bit of a country club golfer vibe to me. But
When I
He's a
first
guy-
popped in before you guys were on, Jesse called me Shooter McGavin.
see, exactly, yeah.
But he's the guy who, like, they do the first two holes and he's getting in the sand trap and he's just whiffing and everything. He's like, how about we put like $100 a hole on this, and then all of a sudden, fucking 2 strokes.
Yeah. We got Greg the Brute Scale with us, formerly Brute Scale, sorry. Says, what's up, fellas? Cleaning the figure room and listening to y'all. I tell you what, it must be like in the air because I know I was working on doing some cleaning and organizing this week. I see several others. Must be kind of a, new year, new me kind of thing where people are just kind of cleaning and organizing shit.
And I don't know about everybody else, but I know you, Curtis, and in my area the same. Like, there is just a hell of a storm coming through. The temps are going to drop, so it's like, well, I can't do anything else. I'm not going out in that shit. So, that definitely lends towards it, I think.
So many other things to do besides clean, though.
Well, yeah, when you're talented like Jesse, but
So,
I was gonna say watch stuff, take a nap
other
for a couple
stuff.
hours.
we don't have a lot of people in the chat, but they all seem to be obsessed with my look. Dork Lair says that I look like a chef. Ed says that I look like a Templar. So, yeah. And
Chef
Greg,
boy, oh boy.
Greg has got to make room. That's exactly the thing. Like,
Good point. We
all-
got some waves hitting soon here.
yeah,
So.
we're all running out of space, and this is the time to start, organizing some shits. So,
You guys are just behind the times. I started doing this stuff after Legion's Con.
yeah. And did you clear anything out, or you just shuffled things around, or what was the?
I cleared some stuff out. I've got stuff to actually get out of the apartment, but I boxed stuff up. Yeah.
Gotcha. What didn't make the cut?
A couple of statues, a bunch of comics, not a lot of figures. I've already gotten those pretty tight down to what I want to keep, unless I just get rid of everything, not Legions.
Gotcha. Well, we ready to go through our pickups for the week? Anybody want to start?
I have a CRV.
Okay, gotcha. I meant like toys that we got.
Oh,
I thought he got a new CRV, so I was gonna congratulate him. Like, nice.
no,
Yeah.
no, I definitely do not have a new CRV. I've never had a new.
I mean, we don't have any like.
Well, new to you.
Yeah.
I thought maybe Greg hooked you up or something. You know, we got.
I usually just say pickups, but like we don't have like a thanks to real score. We don't have anything like that. Like we need.
Wouldn't that be fucking retarded?
What
like,
voice
oh,
is that? What?
We can't do anything without saying this stupid fucking saying. That would,
That's his shmirsh me kind of vibe from this country club.
That was my Pete and that was
Thanks,
my
Federal Express person.
Thanks, UPS guy.
There you go. Thanks, Federal Express person.
Thanks, USPS.
get the PC crowd in there.
Thanks, USPS non-gender specific entity. All right.
For all of those that might identify as that, with sincerest apologies.
Yeah. All right. Looks like Duch has got stuff in his hands. What do you got, Duch?
Oh, I'm just playing with my slush head. I've shown
that
him
was
off
from last week, right?
previously. Yeah. Yeah, I've actually still got. It's nice having a desk now because I've like got slush head here. I've still got my battle armor Mondo here. Like I can have stuff around. So I had a big pickup this week. I got to buy a new furnace, so that's gonna put a damper on the toy collecting for a while. Yeah. But I do have heat in the house, and I'm out of a hoodie for the first time in 3 days.
It's a beautiful shirt you got too.
Thank you.
It's good that you don't have that covered up with a hoodie. So
yeah, I found that under the washing machine when we moved it. So yeah. Like, okay, let's throw that rag on.
Was it like a steam furnace or something that is making stuff damp?
What's that?
I don't know. So no new toys for Duch, but you like your slush head enough that you're still playing with it a week later, which is a good.
Oh yeah. The Masterverse are great.
I feel like most guys play with their slush head through their entire lives.
All right.
Oh sure, you're allowed to do it.
Steph out there jumped in. Says she's started some organizing too. Picked up the organizer that I posted from Walmart. So cool. I see Onryu out there. Appreciate you folks joining. We'll go to Sean. Sean, what you got for the week? Oh, crap. Okay. We've got a pelvicus.
I'm pretty sure Sean just gave us the pelvicus.
I gave you the pelvicus, yeah. I took part in Wolf King Customs sale. The last day or so of it. So I got this, and I got a couple of parts. I forgot to bring those over. I can go get those and show them off in a second if someone else wants to do their pickup. But yeah, it was fun to get another one because I admittedly, I have never kept any of those figures as the figure. I've always popped and swapped to make other figures out of the Furious 4. So this one will probably be the one that I keep as probably Lord Bashad, to be honest. So
what was it the last day of the sale where he had like the challenge thing where he put parts with it that should go with that figure? Oh, that's cool. Yeah,
that's why I'll
see that.
Yeah, I'll go over and get those while someone else does their pickup.
You're gonna come over and paint?
I actually might. I'm gonna suck at it, but I might try it because it's kind of fun that I got the parts and why not?
Well, you shouldn't suck on the painted parts or the 3D printed parts in general.
No,
that's true. Yeah,
just talent-wise. Talent-wise.
Plus, let me Jeff can help you out, and red and black is not. I mean, if you're going to start with something, red and black is pretty good one to start with. So
true. And honestly, you influenced me on that one because you mentioned it the other day that this was the figure you picked up from him too, and I'm like, you know what? It's been a while. I could play around with that too. So let me get those parts real quick.
All right. Well, we'll go over to Jesse. Jesse, what do you got for the week?
I got a lot of stuff. Why don't you go first?
Okay. I don't have a lot of things. I've got my normal 2 that I try to stick to. One of them is on the desk.
And arbitrary rules coming from.
No, it's not true. It's not rules. This is just me pacing myself to where I don't buy too many freaking toys. Like, I know I can only open 2 a week. So, So the first one, and I posted some pictures of
This is the best comment we've ever gotten. It's a slur. Hello, guys. John past the Duchy, Jesse, Curtis with a hard K. Bork, good evening. Just got my first block commander point today. Woo.
Good evening.
There's
an extra G in there.
Curtis is the
Great.
Swedish chef. That's the best thing of my day.
All right, so I've posted some pictures of this, but this is the first time showing it live. It is my red tornado that I got from McFarlane. Yeah, but that's not. There we go. So this thing is freaking phenomenal. It's a Target exclusive. They do have some on Target.com right now. It's sold out really quick on the pre-order, but then now it's available, and I love it. It's awesome. And then I got this.
Oh my!
Holy crap!
Oh yeah,
NECA City Landscape, which I just put together today. So yeah, that's a big boy.
Yeah.
So that is available at Big Bad Toy Store right now. And it's going to go right next to my Sentinel that I got from Ryan Gonzalez at Legions Con.
Nice.
And that's going to hold my X-Men figures. So
oh, cool.
Yeah. So that's going to be fun.
Yeah, that's definitely been a tempting one.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I mean, it's plastic. Some of the parts I thought were going to be like cardboard and stuff, but it's really not. I mean, the city scene in the background is cardboard, but everything else is plastic. You build it. It's almost like Legos or something. It's kind of actually fun.
Yay, Joe's alive!
Yeah, very nice, Joe. We were worried about you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I bought like a TV stand today.
Yep.
To hold this with the Sentinel and then have some storage underneath for some extra figures and stuff. It just seemed to be the for the size that I was looking for and the space that I'm going to put it in, seemed like it would be the best thing. So yeah, I think that'll look nice. And then I'll take pictures and show it off and probably do another tour here once I get everything situated. So
what sort of drugs did you put in your tour last time? Because like that, I think has like insane a view count.
I don't know, but I do. Once I get everything finished organizing, I will do another tour of everything. So
that's one. It's also probably one of the shortest videos on our channel because we're definitely the marathon boys. So I think that if people are checking out our channel, I think that's an easy one to just go, hey, I'm going to watch this.
Yeah. Isn't that close to an hour long?
Probably, but our normal episodes are like 3+ hours. So
okay, well, I'm just saying
comparatively,
because I did a tour video that was just a little bit longer than his, and it's got like 12 views.
Well, Curtis watches his own video twice a day.
Oh, that's
so that'll.
I mean, I did post it in the Cabal and in the support group, and I posted a lot of different places. So maybe that was it. Maybe I just, I don't know.
Don't try and figure out algorithms.
Yeah, that's true.
Cross-eyed. It's like time travel.
Factual.
I'm definitely not doing math.
But I did. I put the Sentinel right next to it today. I took a picture of the Sentinel next to it, and it's like the same height as the top of that city landscape. So it actually ends up being like the perfect height. I took a picture of it, sent it to Ryan Gonzalez since he sold me the Sentinel. And I think it's going to work really well. I just got to figure out how I'm going to organize all the fighting. Cause I've got, I've got like 6 or 7 villains and then all the mutant, all the X-Men. And I got to figure out how I'm going to, arrange it all and stuff. And so that'll be fun. I may need to get a expert poser to come and help me get it all situated. So
good luck with that.
Yeah. So that is everything that I've got for the week. So Jesse, it is time for your huge haul.
All right. So I actually forgot one of the things, but that's right. I've got enough to make up for it. First up, ordered this a while back and it finally came in. Oh, it fell down.
And now it's
dead. The humanity.
And he just killed it.
Because the pegs are like positioned really stupidly on this thing.
That's a glowing endorsement already.
Well, it's Hasbro, so you know. It looks cool unless you take it out of the box. So it's the hologram, hologram, whatever the heck, and it like lights up.
Ooh, that's nice.
And it's got like a flicker to it and stuff. And it's my girl Ahsoka, so I had to get it.
What's that thing, Ron?
Huh?
What's that thing, Ron?
That was like $33 or something.
That's not bad.
No. And I just lost the name.
Is that Black Series or is that from some?
Yeah, it's the full regular Black Series. It's just translucent. It's got like kind of that blue.
Yeah.
Like
and the light up base.
Yep. And the light up base, yeah. And she's got her lightsabers. I mean, it's fully functional, fully posable, just like the regular one, just clear.
Gotcha.
I picked this up last week. I wasn't going to, but it just looked really cool. And it's one of those ones that's nice and chunky.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
Big. So that's the Xanatos Steel Clan armored gargoyle.
Whoa, spoiler alert.
You've had like 25 years. So this thing's really cool. I'm definitely gonna have to get, like 2 of the regular Steel Clan ones to go with it. It does have like the Xanatos head and like the art. I really like the panels on the wrists that pop off to put like the arm blaster on. Like it's a pretty seamless, like hidden like a port there underneath. This came in yesterday. I've been trying to find this in stores, never found it. So I just got it off Amazon. For Jada Toys, not for Jada Toys, but it's Jada Toys. It's really good quality. Like I like the feel of it. Like the plastic is nice. It doesn't feel cheap. Lots of articulation. She's got 2 different heads, 2 different sets of hands. She's got that base that you can put her foot in any 3 of the blue like effect spots. Her foot will fit in any of those. So if you want to have her at different kick levels. And not toys, but got me some Rogue variant covers from Unknown Comics by Dave Nakamura. Goes by DNA.
Nice.
Is that something new or is that a older comic?
They're relatively new. I think this is like Rogue, and this one's Rogue and Gambit number 2, and this is whatever X-Men from earlier this month. Gotcha. Last month. I wish some of these people would do different costumes other than just that one. Because if anyone comes in here, I'm done. They think I'm just a huge fan of that costume, and I'm not. I don't have a problem with it, but it's like that or Savage Land Rogue are like the only thing that people do art for that you can buy, and it's like.
You think that's partly Marvel right now, though? Like with 97 coming out and everything.
They put her back in that. They put her back in that costume ever since this whole Hoxpox stuff started a couple years ago with Jonathan Hickman,
right?
And all of that stuff. And if it was the 90s show one, she would have a green jacket. So I don't think it's entirely that. It's just.
But I don't think they're going to do something off the wall like that one that you really like, that earlier one. Like when the current version and the 97 version are so similar, that's probably a Marvel thing where they're like, no, if you're going to do her, you need to do her like that.
I mean,
that's what she's wearing in the current series that these books are from. So
that's what I'm saying.
It just makes sense. But like,
yeah, plus it's Rogue. Jesse would do her anyway. Possibly,
right. So. He would. Marvel wouldn't, though. Marvel says how you can do her.
Speaking of Rogue, real quick, I did pick up the 97 Rogue from Marvel Legends. I didn't show it because I didn't keep the figure. I just basically stole the head because the older Marvel Legends Rogue I thought had a better body overall. And so I just used the head and popped it on that one. Obviously the jacket is, Jesse mentioned the green jacket is not cool. The brown one definitely looks better. Plus on this figure, her boobies are better. So there you go. So
why am I big?
Why not?
Sorry.
I like it. We should do the whole episode that way.
So yeah, because the 97 one, I don't know, they made it to where I don't know. They really toned down her boobage. And I'm not saying that like I don't know. I'm not trying to be like sexist or anything, but it didn't look like the character. So it was weird. So this one looked better.
I'm still
I'm really happy with that. So yeah, get the old school Marvel Legends Rogue, put the new head on it. You're good. So yeah. That's it. That's all I got. So we were here's the Sean got his stuff back. Okay.
Yeah. So
this one, and then we move him over
That's not
here.
Sean.
there we go. So I got this axe.
Okay.
It's got some Celtic markings on it, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's already black. You're done already. Good job.
I honestly was thinking that, to be completely honest, and then I was like, no, I'm not gonna be that guy. And then I got this monk gorilla head.
Okay,
that is
pretty
fun.
Cool.
Damn, I don't think I've seen that one. I need to get one of those from Len. Have you seen that, Jesse?
Yeah, I saw it. He debuted him at ToyCon New Jersey. I've been talking about it.
Everybody knows that.
Rick, I don't have one of those. I need to get one of those. That's awesome.
And then, because of me loving the barbarians, this is actually really cool.
Oh yeah.
This torso with a pauldron already attached works really nicely for a barbarian.
Yeah, that's Walter DeMarco's sculpt. He did an amazing job on that. It's very He-Man-esque.
Yeah,
the fur around it and stuff, and
yeah,
I like that one a lot.
So that's my extras that came with the Helvicus Lord Bushati.
Yeah, I saw Eugene Eunuch had posted that he had gotten some and got those challenge packs, and so yeah, look for those on Wolf King because those are cool. Let's see what Jesse's got here. Damn, I haven't gotten any of those.
A bear, a lion, and the girl.
He just sent me a box today.
I specifically asked for them.
Hold on, guys. Hold on a second. Hold on.
Got a bunch of other stuff too. Like
hey, Lynn. I am on OffWorld right now.
I knew
it. And Duch is here. Say hi, Duch.
The goblin heads.
Yeah, Duch.
Hi, Lynn.
He doesn't understand how video or audio recordings work. He just waved. Hey, Jesse just showed a bunch of heads, like a lion head, a bear, and something else that I don't have and I'd not seen. So I'm trying to figure out why you're shafting me because I just got a box today from you and those were not in there. So now he's showing a cool like samurai skeleton that I also don't have. So have I done something wrong? And am I not part of Wolf King anymore? Please let me know.
Well, you're the 2.0.
Look,
you're the beast.
Look,
we're going to continue to the show, but like, if you could respond.
We all know you're not actually talking to Len.
That's Len right there.
Yeah, I thought you were going to call him though. Like that would have been a lot
It's Len,
more.
but on my phone it says Frank because because he said at one point he said, "Can I be Frank?" And I said, "You can be whatever you want." And then he changed his name to Frank in our chat. So
just don't call me Shirley.
He said before that, just so you know, he said because he sent me a voicemail right before the show, and I said I'll listen to this after OffWorld, and he says, "Is the Duch on?" And I said, "Well, tonight's episode is titled In Duch We Trust." So, and then he said, "I saw that," and then put like one of those faces like you're getting ready to puke. So
nice.
Yeah. So there you go.
I love him too.
I mean, don't take it personally. I'm not part of the Wolf King chat, so you don't see here.
But you have the special heads that.
Curtis you do have the heads.
I have special heads that I asked for. He also sent me stuff because I'm going to be at ZoloCon at the end of February with stuff to put out on the Wolf King table.
Nice.
Listen to Jesse. I'm going to be at ZoloCon. I'm special.
Len's flying me out.
Favorite
class.
Yeah.
It's like a 2.5 hour. It's not even a 2-hour drive.
He sent a limo for me.
Yeah.
The private Wolf King helicopter.
Yeah, Wolf King's doing pretty well. Got a helicopter. Airwolf. Just go pick up.
They hired the Airwolf.
We land on the print shop and just pick them up right after work.
I'm sorry we don't live, all live like 55 hours away from the East Coast.
Curtis Borgnine isn't the pilot. Don't get in. It's not worth it.
I hear I talked to Steven today. Sounds like Michigan's getting really hit with the snow. I'm glad that this isn't MesquiCon weekend because I drove through that last year for MesquiCon and that was freaking scary, man. It looked like I was in like hyper speed or something like it. Like it was like flying by me so fast. It was like I was, I was like, man, this is crazy. But
yeah, they're just north of me. But this morning was like that with the snow, and then the afternoon went to rain, and it should be turning back to snow right about now. So it's gonna be real fun tomorrow. So,
yeah. Dorclair says got a box from Curtis yesterday.
Did anyone here get a box from Curtis? I didn't get a box from Curtis. Did you guys get a box from Curtis?
No. Sorry. But Dorclair did. So the way that worked out, Dorclair on his show last week was talking about some card games. He plays Magic the Gathering, gets the cards and stuff. And he had also talked about there was a Star Trek Next Generation game. Yep. And I was like, oh shit, I got some of those in the garage from fucking 30 years ago or whatever it was. And I haven't touched them in that much time. So I just went to the garage and I'm like, well, this is not something I'm going to use, but I'm sure Dorclair probably could. So I boxed those up. And then my daughter at one point she was going to get into Magic. She bought a couple like big boxes of cards. And then she just wasn't playing. So she's like, well, does he like Magic? I got these too. I'm like, yeah. She's like, well, here you go. And so, yeah, so it was 2 boxes of Magic cards, a box of Star Trek Next Generation cards. We have no idea what was in it. It could all be junk. It could be, amazing figures that he sells and retires from his job. We have no clue. So we'll see. If all of a sudden Dorclair stops making videos and he just kind of retires and lives off of Magic card money, we'll know. So yeah,
good times.
So what's on the Duch agenda for today? What's the game plan?
So we're going to be taking a look back right now. Everyone else has been doing it. We got to get in on it. This is going to be our best of 2023, ladies and gentlemen. Now, per Curtis's request, I did not send out the categories ahead of time. He wanted to do it a bit like the lightning round, so I'll throw it out ahead of time. There may be some categories that some of us may have NAs for, and that's perfectly fine. I was trying to get as inclusive as I could. So the first section we're going to do here is our toys of 2023. So I'm going to throw out a category. I want you all to give me your best. So one answer, best figure in this category. And I am going to say in the toy category, this needs to be a figure that was released in 2023. So even if it was an older figure that you got, that doesn't count here. All right.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to start it off. We're going to start off with the heavy hitters here. What is your best Mythic Legions figure from 2023? Let's try
hold on 1 second. I just need to clarify because we kind of got into this on Legion's Lounge this past week. When we say me and Jesse with Trevor, when are you saying best as in which one do we think is the best quality, or are you saying our favorite, the one that we like the most? Because those are two different things. So I just want to make sure that that's clear. Are you asking us for our favorite, or are you asking us which one we think is the best?
Your personal best of 2023. However you want to quantify that.
Okay.
Because to me, they're the same thing. Like, my favorite is going to be the best, in my opinion.
Well, it's that's not necessarily the case. Like I can
that's what I'm saying. In my opinion, it is. Okay. In your opinion, it's obviously not.
Well, so for me, I'm asking, do you want me to give you what I think is the best, or do you want me to give you what I think is my favorite?
You're overcomplicating things.
I'm just asking a clarifying question.
I'm 100% with Curtis on this one.
Yeah. Okay. Because there's like for instance, Figure Obscura, right? I think Monkey King is the absolute best that they've done. It's not my favorite that they've done as far as the Figure Obscura, but I think it's the best. It, like, looking at it just from an artistic standpoint, I think it's the best they've done. But if I had to pick one, I would probably go with the Headless Horseman as far as my favorite. So those are two different things. So
Gotcha.
I just want to make sure that we know what we're answering here. And if you don't know, then I'll just give you two. I'll give you what I think is best and what I think is my favorite.
Well, let's go with the best then. How we started off. So,
Okay,
what is the best figure of 2023? Let's go ahead and start off with Figure Obscura then, since that was on the list anyways. So, Curtis,
the best is Monkey King. I think it's the best that they've ever done in any figure line. I think it's just a work of art, and it makes me cry every time I see somebody break one apart for a custom. So
interesting. Jesse?
Monkey King.
Okay.
Just the amount of accessories it comes with, the package art, how much it got people to invest in the story that didn't know about it beforehand, myself included. I think I think Monkey King is definitely the best Figure Obscura they've put out this year.
We got Len in the chat now. And
what's up, Len?
Did want to pull something up real quick because Len does need a hookup. He missed out on the Mezco Gomez that dropped today. If anybody got an extra one, please hook up Len. He's a great guy, great dude. So if you got an extra one, hit up Len and try to help him out. All right, dude, it's on you.
So for me, it is the Mask of the Red Death, actually. Kind of similar reason, like I had not read that part, so getting the Nate Barch illustrated book with it and everything else, and just an amazing figure. And I still remember popping that mask off for the first time. I was able to avoid the spoilers and just seeing what they did with that there, just absolutely killer. The colors, the soft goods, which you guys know I'm not a huge soft goods person, but like that, it's just amazing. The clock, the pool of blood, like just lights out. Absolute best that they've released this year.
Gotcha. Okay.
Sean?
As much as I wasn't expecting to agree here, I got to go with Mask of the Red Death myself because number one, I did not get Monkey King, so that's on me. That makes me a horrible person. But Mask of the Red Death was one where when they showed it, I was like, automatically, I like the supernatural Figure Obscuras more than the other ones, and I do like the accessories. But then on top of that, this year, The Fall of the House of Usher on Netflix came out. Yep. And that followed Poe with naming each episode after a Poe story. And after I watched that with my wife, I showed her the figure for this, and that's what started her to actually go, I get why you like this so much now.
Yep.
And it started the ball rolling for her not to be as upset about me collecting as she used to be. Because it helped. So there's a nostalgia to it, or there's something to that where it's like I finally got my wife to at least identify, yes, I get why you like this through a figure. So there you go.
Just tell her, couples that play together stay together.
She goes, I'll never collect this, but I get why you do it. And I'm like, she goes, artistically, these are beautiful. I go, thank you. That's all I've been waiting to hear.
That's better than I don't understand you at all.
So. Exactly. I had that for 6 years. It's so nice to have the other side of it now where she's like, these sculpts are really beautiful. I'm like, what do you think I talk about every week on OffWorld? Come on. Like, this is it. This is why we have our discussions.
Enough. All right. Next up, we've got the best Mythic Legions figure of 2023. Curtis, back to you.
That's Valiant Knight. Just
interesting.
Just in terms of what it brings to the line, what it means to the line, the articulation. I've played more with that figure than I have any figure I've ever owned. My wife even it has to mess with it and put it in poses and stuff. She doesn't typically mess around too much with action figures, but it's just such a great figure. So yeah, hands down, if we're talking best, Valiant Knight best.
Fair enough. Jesse, how do you?
There's an echo chamber in here because that is what I consider the best Mythic Legions. No. Valiant Knight. I think
Yeah, that's the
Wrong
biblical
toy
one.
line.
Yeah, that's the biblical
yeah,
one.
those aren't out yet. It's the articulation, the new details. Like Curtis said, I don't know if it's the toy I've played with the most like in my life, but as far as like since I got into Mythic Legions, other than like taking stuff apart for customizing, it's probably the figure I've messed around with. Like I haven't even worked it into a faction or the shelf. It's right here above the computer. So if I'm distracted enough, I'll start fiddling with it just because it's so fun the poses you can get that thing into.
Same. Ours has been on our desk since we got home from Legions Con. It hasn't moved. It's like normally figures kind of make it on the desk and then come off and stuff. This figure has not left the desk since we got home. So, yep.
I still haven't picked him up. Oddly enough, I never picked him up at Legions Con. I'm gonna have to get him.
Yeah, you do. He's a lot of fun. And I will say, like I was stupid. Like when I first saw it, I looked at it. I'm like, it doesn't have a whole lot of paint apps going on. It's just a fucking knight. It doesn't have a human face. Like it's just got a helmeted head. Like there's not really anything special about this. That is not a figure that you can look at in the box and go, oh yeah, I want to buy that. It is a figure that you have to buy knowing that you're not going to be able to take your hands off of it. And yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a gem to play with. So
fair enough. I've got to go with oh god, I just spaced on his name. Duban. Sorry. Ooh, I don't know why I spaced on that. Beautiful looking figure. I'm not gonna lie, the controversy around him hilarious to me, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. So that definitely helped. And he just his little falcon friend and everything else. I just think it's a beautiful figure. I think it's easily the best of the year for me.
it's a great figure, that's for sure. The soft goods and yeah.
Yep.
Look at that.
When someone mentions controversy and Duban, that's my face.
I loved it. I ate that shit up. I was Greg with the Smart Foods popcorn the whole time.
and there's Trevor in the chat says, "Leave it alone."
It's all I love, Trevor. Nothing against you. I love watching that kind of stuff play out.
All right, Sean, best Mythic of the year.
So, I mean, I wasn't in on a lot of the waves like the good people are because I was financially not able to do it as much. But I'd actually throw this guy out there as mine, the Atlas 2. All of the upgrades they did on him actually impressed me. So, but yeah,
he's a good one.
Yeah. You say Duban 3 times and you summon Trevor.
That's right. Len came in right after Curtis pretended to call him.
Yeah, I didn't pretend to call him. I left a voice message for Len. He responded back saying that he didn't send me that lion because he knows that I like the Planetary Dog Toys lion. I said I like all animals, but no, I did leave him a message.
You fucking love all animals?
Yep, I do.
Fucking it?
No, I didn't word it like that.
No, come on.
Here we go.
All right.
Don't force it.
Cosmic.
Yes, absolutely. Best Cosmic Legion for 2023. Curtis Ackerman.
See, this is for me. This is the perfect example of best favorite because for me, my favorite would obviously be the Sentry. I love that figure. It's probably my favorite figure they've ever done.
Which one's a Sentry?
The builder that came out that looks like a Space Marine kind of thing. That one that Sean's got right there.
Okay,
yeah, the one that I've got like 20 of sitting right behind me here.
Gotcha.
But the best one they've done, in my opinion, is Novian Lean. I think that figure is freaking amazing.
He's my second.
You can put any head on him and it looks cool. I love the boots. Like I've seen some action poses where people have him like running and stuff like that. Like that dude is he's a work of art. So yeah, Novian Lean. Best.
Like I said, I can definitely agree. He's my second, Novian Lean. And the beauty of him is you can put any head you get on him and it looks amazing. It's uncanny. So Jesse?
This will be my first divergence from Curtis's picks. I think the best Cosmic Legion they have put out this year, which is all the Cosmic Legions they have put out so far, is Sligor / the Grave Knight Guard, or I forget what the other name is. Yeah.
Yep.
I think just because the amount of accessories that comes with him, the different configurations you can get him in, I do think Novian is one of the coolest Cosmics. I definitely like the character aspect of him, and for someone who doesn't like the prison storyline, picking this is a big deal for me because it's easily the barbarian builder, the original barbarian builder for Cosmic, in my opinion.
Do we have time for a little quick story time?
Sure, it's our show.
Beautiful. So I think that like after doing the show with Trevor and the boys on Monday, and then hearing what Jesse just said and stuff, I think I need to go back and spend some more time with Sligor. So
yeah,
I got my Cosmic Legions order the day before we left for Legions Con.
Mm-hmm.
And my son was here visiting. We were getting ready to travel to Legions Con together. So we busted it open and like went through the wave and opened it right before we left for Legions Con. And what we did was we alternated opening of figures. So like I opened a figure, he opened a figure, back and forth. And so the two of the figures that he opened, Canox Vol and Sligor, I really didn't spend a whole lot of time with. Like he opened it, he was doing the accessories on it, putting them in a pose. And we put him in my display case before we left for Legions Con, and that was kind of it. And I don't think I had much of an attachment to it, probably because I didn't spend a lot of time right away with it. I think I need to just go back. I've got another one in the garage that I haven't opened. I think I just need to open another one, try all the different configurations, play around with it, like Jesse's saying with the barbarian.
Mm-hmm.
Try all the different combinations and stuff. Because I think it was one that I was really excited for. And then when I got it, I was like, oh, that's not that great. But I think I just need to spend some more time with it because I just didn't give it a fair shake. So
no, and that's definitely I know you guys think I'm odd sometimes, but that's why I do it where I leave stuff sometimes for months because I know I don't have the time to appreciate it right now.
Yeah.
You know? And I've actually been thinking the same thing, Curtis, is I need to because I basically just gone with the regular builds of everybody, and I was just thinking the other day that I need to go through and pull out all the extra accessories and really play around with some of this stuff.
Well, especially you got freaking all of Cosmic Legions handed to you at once.
Yes,
yeah, that makes it very hard to spend time and appreciate each figure individually. So.
I still haven't opened up my exclusives from Legions Con, Vorgus and the Wall Tour. They're still in box because same thing. I if I don't have the time to appreciate it.
See, like the Wall Tour figure, like if you just look at the parts, it's almost, I mean, other than a couple accessories and stuff, it's almost the same as Sligor.
A lot of it.
But the difference is that I played with that all day on Sunday at Legions Con. And so I love that figure. So I think it's just one of those where I just got to go back and spend some time with it and in order to truly appreciate it more. So
yeah, I can't wait to bust out that skeleton from the mythic one of the Wall Tour because that's an amazing skeleton.
Yeah, I can't wait to bust out a couple more so I can
trade them.
For more Cosmic Cosmic Walters. All right, Duch, what's your best Cosmic?
My best Cosmic. So I'm actually gonna I will throw a runner up here because look, it's my thing. And I don't remember the names, but the blue Sphexian, he is just one that guard. I'm sorry,
the prison guard.
Prison guard. Thank you. He's definitely an honorable mention here. I love the colors on him. I will just sit here and just stare at him and move him in the light to get the different colors going on him. So that was, I guess that would probably be my biggest surprise is how much I love him because the Sphexians to me, especially seeing them, were just whatever. But for my best, I've got to go with Operative 83. Again, the colors are just amazing. Manny Faces is not even one of my favorite Masters characters. He's an essential, but he's not anywhere near my favorite. But the way they did this, where he is definitely his own character, but immediately evocative of Manny Faces, but immediately even cooler, in my opinion. just hands down amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the best Motu tribute that they've done. And not only that, I think it's the best version of Manny Faces in any version. You know, you take whether it's vintage, 2000X, classics. I think that this version of Manny Faces is the absolute best. I could see where that would be somebody's pick as best cosmic for sure.
Yeah. And actually, before I got him, I thought I was going to go with the monster head, but I have not been able to take this robot head off. Like it's the best head out of them, in my opinion.
I'm totally team human head. So
they're all good.
Yeah.
But this one, because I thought I was going to end up with monster, maybe human, but I seeing it in person, I'm like, no, it's got to be that robot.
Yeah. Any answer is fine as long as you don't put the bubble on it, because we're anti-bubble here.
No bubble. All right, Sean. Cosmic Legion.
So I'll have to do what you did, because this would have been my answer. But I don't want to keep doing. I'm following you every time.
Well, you can't. So your best is Operative 83. But if you like to throw out an honorary,
we should
mention,
rotate it to where instead of me starting each time, then kind of move our way around. But yeah, go ahead.
But out of the ones that I got this year, and I do agree about the Novian Lean. I love them, but I haven't had them in hand yet. So this is going to be mine. Vorga is one that everybody was saying she was a sleeper for the first wave, and on top of that, the fact that now in Mythics we get the body type that people have been wanting to have for the female barbarian characters because of her, and obviously Jesse's proud of that and happy with that too. This works on a bunch of levels for me. So,
and that's the only way to display her is with the tattoo showing. You cannot cover up that tattoo with the pauldron. That is a crime against humanity.
It's a work of art. You can't hide that tattoo. But she's got a lot of personality. I dig the fact she's the heavy gunner out of the group and all that. And I love that face sculpt. I'm not huge on the alien face sculpts. Hers is one that I'm just like, it works for me on a lot of levels too.
I'm gonna throw out a bit of a hot take here real quick. I can't stand the Sphexians.
Really?
I don't like them at all. Seriously, I bought an extra prison guard and I gave him away a long time ago on one of our shows or something. So I've only got one block commander, one prison guard in my display. I'm thinking about getting rid of them. I just don't like them at all.
Wow.
So
see, I'm actually
super hot take though, because everybody that I hear is like, oh, the Sphexians are so cool, it's so unique, and this. I just don't like them. And maybe it's just I don't like bugs. I don't know, but I don't know. They just don't do anything for me.
So I'll pile in on that one. They were the ones out of anything where I was like, ooh, I want to army build some of these because they're lower prices with the waves just hitting and all that stuff. And I ended up opening the prison guard, and the amount of put this together out of that figure that I really wasn't ready for that. I forgot that the little arms had to come out and you had to pop those in. People were saying about you have to heat up the joint and get it in there.
Yep.
And there's a part of me where it's like the minute I know there's that, heat your figures that way you're not going to have breakage, but there's that part of me where it's like, that drives me crazy sometimes. And then to have these little pieces that are going to piss you off, and then you're trying to pop them in. So as crazy as it sounds, I was pro Sphexian until I got them in hand, and I was like, I kind of dig the hero characters more, and I'm not really worrying about the Sphexians from this point on.
They do feel like a lot of work, like as opposed to we were just talking about the Valiant Knight, how you can sit there and just play with that thing nonstop. Like the Sphexian, it's like, I don't know. You got to heat it up. You got to put these things in. They pop out very easily and all this kind of stuff. And it's not in my opinion, a very playable figure. It's really more of a put this in a position, put it in your display, leave it alone. And that's not really Mythic Legions or Cosmic Legions to me. That's just Yeah, that's more of a
It's-
statue. It's like a staction. It's like one of the Motu stactions. It's like I just don't. Yeah, like I
See,
said,
like I said, that was my opinion just seeing them online, but then once I'm in hand, I'm like completely converted. I will agree with you though, because he does only have one wing in, because I haven't taken him upstairs to heat up the peg hole. But anything that I put it where I've heated the hole and put it in, I haven't had any problem with it popping out after that. I've been able to pose and play and everything else, and it's fine after that as long as I heat first.
did you put in the little arms? You didn't have any problems with those?
But they were already put in for me. So that might
there you
also
go.
be part of it too, since they were on display.
Yeah. It is like I agree with Curtis on that. It's like that's one figure where you get it out of the package and there's so many more things you're putting together to make it look the way that you want it to look. But instead of it being like Slag or a Barbarian Builder or whatever, it's like these are pieces to just make it look the way it's supposed to look. It's not like you can just customize this right on the fly and make it into something different. And that's kind of where my interest starts waning in trying to just make a figure look the way he looks in the promo shots that Trevor does, Yeah. So, yeah, it's a little more work. And for me, it did kind of, I wouldn't say it soured me, but it did make me just go like, I'm probably not going to invest in these as much as I was thinking I was going to.
Yeah. All right. Duch, what's
Although,
next?
Joe does have a message for you there.
I like the fact that he's minor. That is, but and he's got a cool face. I do like his face with the like screaming, or whatever.
He's
What'd you say? I can't hear you over this.
He's got the full like unarmored head, right? Like
yeah. He's got the albino look with all black armor. But I hear it's not all black. It's like different, tones or whatever. But it looks all black in the pictures anyway. So
fair enough. All right. Next up, we're gonna take a little trip across the universe here. This time we will start with Sean, and we'll work our way back around. That'll work. Okay. What is your best Mondo figure of the year?
I think I'm gonna have to go with Skeletor. I was in on Skelevator's review on Wednesday night when he got his in hand, and I hadn't even gone through all the different variations. He put on all the armors while we were talking about it, all the heads, and the amount of ways you can make that your Skeletor is amazing. And the amount of stuff that comes with it is amazing. So yeah, and plus you get that dragon mostly articulated. That's freaking cool.
So. Hopefully I'll have that in March.
So now it goes to me, or it's going the other way around?
It goes to you, I think. Yeah, sure. We're going. Yep.
So I would say, I think this has been the best year that Mondo has had. So it's a
tough year.
This is a more difficult one than maybe years past, because they put out a lot of fire. But I got to go with Trapjaw. I think that Trapjaw is just so freaking good. I love the little piston on the arm and the all the accessories and the fact that he can carry all his weapons, and just being the first figure that they put out that you really don't need a stand for. You can get him in a really dynamic pose and not worry about him falling over. It's really cool. I like that one a lot. But I mean, I hear what Sean's saying, that Skeletor is amazing. The different looks that you can get from it are cool. And I've seen some of those comparison pics where people have put it side by side with the original one. Dude, it's not even close. Like the new one is so much better looking than the old one. And Battle Cat was amazing and all that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, for me, it's got to be Trapjaw.
Jesse,
I got nothing on this one.
Okay. And yeah, I got to go Battle Cat. I hear what you guys are saying, but to me, it's an amazing version of the kitty, especially with all the the doubt and everything else that people had going into it, and they knocked it out of the park. Hands down, their best work.
It's an impressive figure, that's for sure. I mean, just the weight, the massiveness out of it, but still you can get, you know, some good articulation. The fact that they had stuff like the toes articulated is like, dude, who would have thought to articulate the individual toes? Like, it's a good figure.
On top of that, that Mondo head that they made for it really works. I still have that on mine ever since we did our review. And I still don't feel like he doesn't look right. It looks phenomenal, even with the stuff that they're adding to it. Same with Trapjaw. He doesn't look identical to the vintage. They'd have a Mondo spin on that. But it's like, if I saw him look like that in a live action movie or even animated like that in something at some point, I'd be like, that's a freaking badass Trapjaw. Like, it works with all these little Mondo-esquenesses they're doing, if that's even a hard thing to say. But
the one thing that they did on there that I hope is kind of adopted going forward by any other versions of Battle Cat, like that get made by other companies, is don't
say it.
What, the back plate, like after the saddle, where they did like the individual layered sections, so they move kind of independently, and it's like, it's not just like one straight piece. I thought that was so cool. Like because if you think about it in terms of like, if you were going to armor an animal, like you would,
it's got to have
flexibility back there. You wouldn't want that all like one solid piece. And I love the way they did that, and I hope that, you know, whether it's they revitalize classics or they keep going with Masterverse or whatever. If they make another version of Battle Cat in any form, I hope they adopt that part of it, because I think that's genius.
I thought I can agree with you absolutely, but I thought we were gonna have one of our famous mind melds there, because what I've said is I really hope that they keep the bracers on Battle Cat from now on. Like, I really think that sets them apart. And I did not get the Panther, but if I did, I would actually take them off of the Panther. I know he came with them because he came with all the same parts, but I think that could be something else to kind of separate them. Get Battle Cat, since he's got the helmet and the saddle and the bracers, and then make Panther with just the saddle. You know, that way he's more the savage beast, and Battle Cat's more the
Oz here with us.
Guy. What's up?
Oz says, "Smack that like,
smack it, baby."
There you go. Yeah. All right. So that was Mondo.
That was Mondo. All right. Next up, we are gonna go to Mafex.
Ooh.
So this is all Curtis right now, I think.
Sexy.
Well, I'll start this one. I will say that I do not have Mafex, but I can appreciate that black suit Spider-Man that they put out. That is the one Mafex that I've looked at. I'm like, I should get that. And then something probably broke, and I'm like, I don't have money for that. So, but yes, definitely for me, it is that black suit Spider-Man. I think they really knocked that out of the park, and it is a beautiful looking figure.
I will say I don't think that's a 23, but
I thought it. I looked it up. I could be wrong. It
might
like
be.
Was.
I thought it was. I thought it was last year, or 2022, but I could be wrong. So
I thought I checked it out, but
that's fine. It's a great figure. I do have that one, and it is very nice. I had to last year. I wanted to get at least one Spider-Man, whether it was a Marvel Legends or a Mafex or whatever, and that was the one I ended up picking out, was the black suit Mafex, because it's really good.
Up to you, Sean.
I don't collect the line, but the one that I would say really grabbed my attention was courtesy of Curtis, the Steel, and I don't know if that was released in 2023 or not, but just looking at that and him showing it off here and everything, I mean, Steel isn't a character I'm like, wow about. I appreciate him. I like the fact that I liked who he is, but he's not like my top 5 or top 10. But that figure is gorgeous. So yeah, every time you show that off, I'm always like, that's just freaking. It's one of my favorite looking figures out of the Mafex that I've seen today. So,
yeah, I mean, I picked up more Mafex than anybody else here last year.
All the Mafex.
If it wasn't for Curtis, Mafex would not be a category on this list. I'm just going to put that out there.
They put out a lot of great figures. Dorklayer mentioned Nightwing, which did come out last year. That was a great figure. The Magneto was really awesome. They had Cyborg Superman, which is really good. But I'm with Sean here. That Steel is something else, man. They made it a little bit taller than most of the other Mafex. And he's got really good articulation. They even have some things like on the sides of his legs where he's got tubing that goes from like his upper thigh down to the lower leg, but it's flexible tubing. So as you bend his leg, like the tubing bends with it and stuff. The cape on him is awesome. Yeah, he's just an amazing figure. They really nailed that one. So that would be now my favorite figure I got from them last year was the Superman, which I did some customizing too, but that was an older figure. That was from past year. So as far as last year, yeah, Steel for sure.
Absolutely. Jesse?
I got nothing.
Okay.
They will eventually do a Rogue, and then he'll have that. But until then,
surprised they haven't, honestly.
They do have an Ahsoka coming out. So
she's gonna be the same green and yellow suit with the brown jacket. So like, I don't know if I'll get it just because I already have like 4 of that from Marvel Legends. So I don't know if I need $100 version of that figure.
I would say that everybody should, at least at some point in their life, even if you don't own a Mafex, you should play with a Mafex. Like we were talking about the Valiant Knight earlier, Mafex is like that. Like it is such hand candy, man. Everybody should at least play with one at some point.
So Curtis, when you come up for MesquiteCon, please pack a couple Mafex. That way I can get my hands on them and see what
sounds good.
What we're dealing with. And Smoke 'em if you got them. Did throw out that Cyborg and Steel were awesome. Yeah, and we got Hedgehog here with us too. Welcome, Hedgehog.
Yep, I can't wait for the Superboy and Eradicator that are going to be coming out.
Eradicator.
Yeah,
I mean, honestly, with Mafex for me is like I'd rather buy a Superman from them than McFarlane any day of the week because those actually look the way that I want Superman to look. McFarlane still hasn't figured out that face sculpt for the life of him.
All right. Well, it sounds like Sean wants to start the next one. What is your favorite McFarlane from the year 2023?
Okay, I can do that pretty easily. Firestorm. Boom, I'm done.
Okay.
Just the fact Firestorm is he's second. He's like really close second to Superman for me on the DC list. I didn't even expect it to happen. And then there's Firestorm and the amount of different ways you can have his effects in that figure is pretty cool to me, especially for being a fan of him. And he really does. He looks pretty darn good considering. So
I will say that with the exception of Superman, which McFarlane cannot get right for the life of me, I insist that it's on purpose so that he can make more people like Batman.
I think you're right on that. Though.
Yeah. They put out some really good figures this year. That Firestorm is really great. There was that Hawkman that I was trying to get, that variant version that looked like the Superpowers one.
Yeah.
This Red Tornado recency bias is a great figure. But I'm going to have to go with the gold label Wonder Woman that they just did recently. It is just the perfect Wonder Woman. Like it is absolutely perfect. And he's done like a million different versions of Wonder Woman, kind of the gladiatorial whatever version, the Roman soldier type version. This was just like the absolute like iconic look Wonder Woman that I've always wanted. It's great. So that's the one I got to go with.
Very nice. Jesse, McFarlane?
I don't.
Now, granted, sorry. Didn't mean to cut you off, and I might be on a delay. I did just say McFarlane. I did not say McFarlane DC, so I just want to throw that out there. I know everyone goes to DC, but I just said McFarlane.
That's what I was going to say. I'm not 100% sure if it came out in 23 or not, I would go with Keyleth from Critical Role, the Vox Machina figure.
Yeah, that had to have been 23.
I don't know. I know they came out. I know the first wave came out towards the end of 22. I don't remember. So I'd probably say her just because I really like that character from the show and everything. I know. Yeah, as far as like got last year, it would probably be the what do you call them? The Ekron, the flying creatures from Avatar, but they came out in 22. So, but yeah, I'll go with Keyleth. If she came out in 22, then I'll go with the Endless Winter Aquaman.
Oh,
the comic book one.
The comic book one.
Just the classic orange and green and blonde hair and everything.
Yeah, they need to go back to that. I got to go with I don't remember which version it was, but they had a nice version of the Flash. I want to say it was his new 52 version. But Flash is one of my favorite DC characters. And that was a real tempting on the shelf to where I almost bought that just because it looked iconic. It had some lightning accessories and it just really did it to me.
Yeah, one honorable mention I forgot to note too was the Doomsday Superman 2-pack that they did.
Yeah, that was fun.
The Superman was, they messed up his face as always, but the Doomsday was, and yeah, it's, if you've got that, kind of death and return of Superman kind of lineup that you do, the Doomsday they put out this past year was
awesome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If I got to give an honorable mention, it's actually going to be that Lobo with the space cycle. That was a really nice.
Well, that hasn't come out yet.
Oh, it had. I thought that was that a pre-order then?
It was a pre-order. It's supposed to come out this month.
Gotcha.
But it does look nice.
I did not follow that closely. Besides making sure you had the links, I thought that was a release. I didn't realize it was a pre-order.
No, it's supposed to come out really any day now. It should start coming out. So
yeah, I could. Okay, well then I could definitely see that on some lists for next year because that thing is badass.
Yeah.
All right, we are up to. I think we're up to Masters of the Universe retail lines. So Origins, Masterverse, any of that. Jesse, you haven't started yet. You want to start this one?
Did Sorceress come out last year?
Yes.
Then I'll go with Sorceress.
The Revelation one, right?
Yeah, Revelation Sorceress from Masterverse. Yeah, the regular Tila's mom, Sorceress.
Yeah, she's got it going on. Oh, very nice pick. I was just trying to see if mine's close enough to grab.
Dude, she's gonna go with Slush Head.
It was close. Actually, all the NA figures were very close. They are amazing. I just can't quite put them at best. For best, I've got to go with the Masterverse Whiplash. He's got so many options. The flame effect is cool. The flame even comes off. You can have just the torch. And then like between the armor and the removable helmet, which I'm afraid the cats might have batted somewhere, you can basically make two characters out of this guy easily. And he's another one that I wasn't that impressed with him seeing him online, but getting him in hand and how all the articulation works. You can make him big and tall. You can make him all slouched and hunched. He's just a beautifully made, solid figure with a ton of options. So yeah, that's definitely my number one of the 2023.
Cool.
Sean, up to you.
So I want to give two honorable mentions because these were two that I was actually willing to pull the trigger on, and I haven't been buying this line much at all. One of which is Buzz Off, and the second of which is Clawful. I thought those were really well done. But
From
I'd say
the Origins or the Masterverse?
Masterverse. Origins does nothing for me at all. I can't find anything about that line that I.
And Origins, Buzz Off, and Clawful were either 21 or 22. Like those were.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they really worked on those to make me go like, wow, I might actually buy them, but I never did. But the one that I really was impressed with was Ram Man for Masterverse.
Yeah.
So
cool. Yeah,
I don't
another
have
one.
them, but when I saw that, I was like, damn, that's a figure. That's cool.
He's another one on my to open pile. I got him at the Christmas clearance. Ton of options there too. Like, yeah, he's a good one.
So for me, I really tried to stay away from pulling the trigger on anything Masters related last year that wasn't Mondo,
right?
Just because it's I don't have room for that stuff right now. I did pick up a couple that were clearanced out just for like fodder parts and stuff. The only figure that I paid full price for that I bought specifically for that character, and I don't know whether it was last year or not. I know I bought it last year, but I don't know when it released. Is the Masterverse Zodak. That's it. It's and I love it. It's really good. I don't know that it's better than the classics version, but it is pretty good. The articulation is definitely better. But yeah, that's a good one.
That's completely agree. As a holster.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I love. I love the Masterverse where they did something extra, it's like instead of just trying to replicate the vintage or the classics, like and that same with Whiplash, like you took and you did something above and beyond. And
and I actually even have him like grabbing his gun in his holster. So
Zodak shoots first.
Yeah, it's a cool figure. And like I said, it's the only one that I was even like, I'm not going to wait for this to go to clearance. I need to buy this, right away. So
very nice. All right. Next up, we've got the best exclusive figure. So any
best exclusive figure.
Yeah, it can be any line, anything. Just it was offered as a con exclusive, a website exclusive.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and start. Demistros.
He definitely looks better when he's not in that stupid vehicle. That's for sure.
Well, unfortunately, the Rotan is not an exclusive, but Demistros, he is just the best. He is the one I look forward to the most. Getting him in hand, he's even better. That is my best exclusive figure from 2023.
I will go with Mondo Anti-Eternia He-Man. That was like an timed exclusive thing.
Oh, designer
con. Yeah. And the reason why I think that one's pretty cool is they gave him the bells and whistles that also the deluxe He-Man got, but as Anti-Eternia, where he had the battle armor as well, and that's translucent. And it actually really looks, that's the way I have him displayed. He looks so much better in that armor than he does in the regular harness. And it's nothing special beyond that, where it's just, here's He-Man, but it just, they have him black with red now. But the color scheme, like Curtis was saying earlier, black and red just pops for me. And it's a good color scheme, and having the battle armor, win-win. And also translucent weapons as well.
Yeah, can't go wrong with translucent.
Yeah, for me, I'm gonna go with the Waltor 2-pack and really specifically the Waltor Cosmic version. I think that that orange and black and Cosmic is red and black and Mythic. Like it is just an awesome color combo, and The figure itself is amazing anyway. I love playing with it, but the look of that thing is just killer. I love that orange and black scheme. It really, it really gets me excited. So
I can definitely agree with that. Jesse?
I am probably going to go second on Demistros with Duch.
Yes.
I do like the translucent green head, huh?
No Rotom though, right?
No.
I mean, ride him if
I don't have a problem.
him.
I don't have a problem with the Rotom, but he is the only, other than the figure Obscura, he's the only horseman figure I have that's like, of their current lines, that's not like in an associated shelf. It's up on like just my general toy shelf over my TV, because he was an exclusive. I think I have him right in front of the Malleus bust from Intern last year. But I think that cape is really cool. I really love the color scheme. I love the bone paint effect on the regular head that comes with it. I'm looking forward to getting the bone hand pack from the Necronominus wave to give him some bone hands and or feet. I can't remember if there was feet in that pack as well.
I remember. I've got I'm using the hands from that came with the Krampus right now, which aren't great because they're the smaller hands, but yeah.
I do like the green translucent heads, but I think that skull, that Belphegor head painted bone white like that just looks really cool on that body. So yeah, I think that one's the Wall Tour 2-pack is like a very close second. And just because of all the options you can do between the two figures, there's so many options you can do with the heads and everything that come with it, and just all the fun accessories in that as well. But yeah.
Full disclosure, I still haven't opened my Demistros. It's still sitting in the box. And it's possible that they could be one of those that I would open up and start messing with, and I really enjoy it. But just initially, it doesn't do a whole lot for me. Like, it's just, it's been one of those where, like, I've had it as, like I said, I try to open up 2 figures a week. And if I got to a point, like, I basically end up where I've got this pile of figures and I'm like, okay, which are the 2 that I'm going to choose this week? And Demistros never makes the cut. So maybe he will one day and I will absolutely love him. But so far he has not made the cut to open. So
that's honestly how I feel about your beloved Monkey King.
Really?
Like, usually, even when I skip a figure, like Valiant Knight, right? I skip Valiant Knight. I'm seeing all these guys post stuff with him and pose him, and I'm like, shit, I should have gotten him. There is nothing I have seen that's like, oh shit, I should have gotten Monkey King. Like, that is just, I see it, it's like, yeah, that looks cool, but like, still an easy pass for me.
Different strokes, different folks.
That's it, baby. All right. So we are getting towards the end of our toy lines. Real quick here, just
nothing Hasbro?
Huh?
No Hasbro?
Well, I was going to throw out a general best toy that I haven't mentioned a category for. So if there's anything, any specific figure that you guys are
not
like
making that list then.
Huh?
I said Hasbro's not making that list then.
So yeah. So real quick before we go to wrap up the toys, just anything. I tried to just pick like a kind of between us our main stuff that we collect. So just if there's a figure or 2 that's not in a category I've listed so far, go ahead and throw it out. Curtis, we'll go back to you first. You haven't gone first.
I will just say in general, the Memory Toys Orcs. Specifically, I like the Bounty Hunter red one. I think he's the coolest in terms of overall look and accessories and stuff. But all those Memory Toys Orcs are really cool, and as far as like mythic adjacent, they fit in really well. So that would be my pick.
Very nice.
Oh,
Jesse?
I got to throw out a couple, just because I got to throw out
Well, if Jesse's going to do two, no, I'm just kidding.
I said if you got a couple or a few, go ahead, throw them out. Like, just kind of your honorable mention.
Just
I was
because
just
they're
trying to
so
get under
different.
Jesse's skin.
That's okay. Don't worry, you'll never get underneath my skin as much as I do.
I'll get under you. Don't worry.
No.
Wow.
I'm gonna go with shoot, I think his name is Blight from Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. He's like the all black ape with the purple. I mean that whole wave, all those figures. I really like the figures in that series. I would pick Tanger, the Beastman tribute from PowerCon. But the posability on the smaller figures, like the articulation and the poses you can get them into, are just really, really good. And which is essentially all the figures in that way, but that's the one I have. Like I've customized one of like the basic builder ones, but it's all basically the same buck, just depending on the hands or feet and the heads. So I'd say that's really good. I do really like what's right? Is it Midnight Eclipse or whatever from Valaverse? The it was like the variant where she's got the war paint. It's one of the Vala Action Force female figures. She's got like the black war paint across her face. They just came with a lot of cool. There's like the expressive head where it's screaming. There's one with like it's got like the head wrap and it's covered up. I just think that's a pretty cool figure. And the last one I'll throw out is technically two more. They're both Raphaels. One is the Raphael NECA, like the 4-pack, the Lawson 4-pack, and the cool Raphael from the IDW Best Action Figures from the IDW Comics.
Warpath Eclipse.
Warpath Eclipse. Thank you.
That's a cool looking figure. I got to throw out the Owl Bear from Dungeons and Dragons. That is a Hasbro line.
Ooh,
so,
nice.
It's a fun creature. And ever since I first started playing D&D, I've longed for good quality articulated.
I didn't know you ever played D&D, Matt.
Yes,
you didn't play last week.
Nope, you did not.
I did not. That's Saturdays are never going to be a good day for that for me. But yeah,
and I'm not going to give you crap about that, Sean, because I know you were having technical problems.
For sure.
And Jesse, I meant to let you know earlier, but I was talking to a certain Swede earlier today, Mr. Wickman. He said that if somebody can't make it and you need somebody, depending on the time, that is something he would be very interested in. Just FYI. So
okay.
So the Owlbear definitely. I still want to get a Beholder from that line. So yeah, that's kind of my honorable mention there. Good line.
Question. Yep. Just for a quick thought, since we're talking about the Hasbro D&D, yes. Which one did you get? The white one or
the white one? I have not seen any one other than the white one. I would love to get them all, but
there's a gold. There's the regular brown one, and then there's like the golden owl bear, which is I think the same sculpt as the brown one, but just different color.
Well, I think they all are the same sculpt.
No, the white is the only one that has that snow owl head. The other ones have different, like
do they?
Yeah,
gotcha. I haven't looked at them that closely, and like I said, I've never seen anyone but the white in person.
It wasn't one you mentioned as one that you wanted to get, but the Displacer Beast, if they made like another version of it where it was like semi-translucent, kind of like the Jacob Marley, like the clear to the solid,
awesome.
would that I would have to get two. I'd have to get the regular one and the
did they make a Displacer Beast?
Yep. Yeah, it's like a
God,
yeah,
I need
it's got
that
the 6
too,
legs.
then.
Yep.
Yeah, see, unfortunately in my area, like we got the Owlbear and we got the humans, and that was like it. And like the Beholders I've just seen online. I've never seen them, and I've never seen the other Owlbears, never seen the Displacer Beast. Like I think I saw the dragon once, but that was it. And it's like, man, that's where you go with D&D. You don't go with the human characters, you go with the monsters. Come on, Hasbro.
I do have one category that you didn't hit. If what did we get through?
Can we
everybody?
let Sean?
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
And then
Yeah, go ahead.
For runner-up, I'll throw Gambit out there. I still haven't opened them.
That you haven't opened.
I still love the fact that face sculpt is what I've been wanting to see out of a Gambit for years, and Marvel Legends couldn't do it until X-Men 97 finally hit, and I just love that look of him. He was one that I literally, when I saw it, I grabbed it off the peg. It just works for me. And honestly, I wanted him and Rogue, not because of the relationship, but they're characters I like. And when I got Rogue, I was like, oh, okay. But Gambit still was like, this is working for me. I still like the other Marvel Legends one, the one that Jesse's not as into, but I still think that one is cool for Rogue. And then I have to go with this for my best one because got it for Christmas for my daughter. The amount of different things you can do with this, the face sculpt being pretty dead on to Bela Lugosi. And I love this packaging, especially. It's one of those packages that I probably won't get rid of because I love that it has the movie poster on it. And every time I would go to a store, whether it's FYE, Target, if I saw it, I would stand there and hold this and look at it for how long. And I'm really lucky that my daughter was like, hey, Dad liked that. I'm going to get it for him for Christmas. So I'm really happy that she remembered me.
Nice.
I missed something here. How did I kick Joe out of the party? Oh, the D&D? No, I definitely wouldn't kick Joe out. Joe's amazing. I love Joe. He's awesome. I was kind of lost on what was happening there.
I figured something happened on Saturday that I wasn't privy to.
No, I love Joe. I got along well with Joe. It was me and Trevor that were having some beef. But
I just to clarify real quick, I think it was everybody in Curtis's character that was having a beef because
yeah, but Joe put up with me the best.
I mean, he's a paladin. He kind of had to.
So my category that I would throw out there is, what is the one toy line that you're desperately trying to avoid because you know it's going to be a rabbit hole for you?
Gee, that is a great category, Curtis.
Yeah, is that one that you had?
It was coming up, so we.
I thought you said we were. I thought you said we were done with toys.
No, I said as we're starting to wrap up.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Well, so yes, I had most tempting toy line. That one you haven't taken the plunge in yet. But every time you see it, you're like, oh.
Yeah, I've got ones that I just for space and money that I'm just like, I've got to avoid. Like, I can't even look at these. Like, I'll see a photo and it's like, I gotta, because I don't want to. Yeah.
Well, go ahead.
For me, Glios is close, but I think it's Animal Warriors of the Kingdom is number one. Like, that's the one where it's like even Jesse just talking about it. I know he, was posting some pictures of that one that he was talking about the Blight. And I'm just like, I see this great photography and stuff with it. And I'm like, no, I can't. I run by their table at Legion's Con and I just can't do it. So yeah, that's the biggest one for me.
Nice. Jesse?
Man, I don't even know. Probably Mondo. Like, there's ones I definitely want that will be coming up. Like, I wanted to get the Battle Cat, but I didn't have anyone to go with it. And again, just size, space. I mean, I will probably get the Rogue, the X-Men Rogue when that comes out next year, or this year rather.
She does look gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's not my favorite look of her. Like I like the cell shading animation. Like, I'd rather it be more like the Tila looks like Filmation, but if it had been put into like real life with better detail. Right. I kind of wish they had done that with the X-Men with Rogue. But I know that's not what they're going for also, really like Hot Toys. I had one or two Hot Toys on pre-order over the last couple of years. I had one I think even paid off, but I needed money for a bill at the time, so I canceled the pre-order and got my refund. But just because I think my buddy Tyler's got some of those, I think they're amazing looking figures. But I feel like that'd be one I'd be more worried about going down the rabbit hole on those. It's like, oh well, if I get an Ahsoka, I got to get a Sabine and a Hera, and if I get those, I might as well get Chopper, and I might as well get the whole Rebels, and it'll be a whole thing, and I'll be selling my teeth and kidneys and liver and toes for money.
Absolutely. As you do.
Yeah.
Very nice. All right. So Joe was talking about because you're trying to get a meal in. So that's going to boot Joe out. Okay.
And I'm not trying to get a meal in. I just wanted to make sure that I told Meal that I would pass on the message.
He's
right.
trying
When
to
the rest
get
of the
in
party
email,
revolt kills Curtis's character, we'll just let
Meal will replace me is probably more what's going to happen. Yeah, because there's a good chance my character.
If it even happens, I don't know if we're even going to get everybody on the same page to show up at the same time. So,
yeah.
For me, it is actually another Hasbro line, the Power Rangers Lightning Collection. Definitely, I know Power Rangers were the next stepping stone after Turtles. And most of you guys were done by then, but it's definitely it's one of those things, kind of like with the Turtles. Like, well, if I'm gonna get a Raphael, I got that's how I got my Super 7 collection of Turtles. You have to at least complete the brothers. So it's like definitely like Green Ranger would be a tempting one, but if I get him, well, number one, the way Hasbro did it. I know I'm going to bore all you guys for a minute, but the Green Ranger traditionally has the dragon shield, which he aired with the Red Ranger in one episode and the Black Ranger in another episode. And the way Hasbro released their figures in the Lightning Collection is that the Red Ranger came with the dragon shield and then the Green Ranger did not. So if you want the Green Ranger to look like the traditional Green Ranger, you have to at least buy the Red Ranger too. And that kind of pissed me off. So that has stopped me from picking any of them up because that's just shady shit right there.
Yeah, I mean, what stopped me from picking them up is that Power Rangers blow. So.
Yeah.
Oh, is that how that song goes?
Blow, blow,
Yeah.
Power Rangers. Get on your
That's all I know.
knees.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Blow, blow, Power Rangers. Yes, because we all listen to the bullshit that you throw out here all the time.
I think Duch just likes playing the Green Ranger's flute.
The Dragon Dagger. Absolutely. Curtis seems to know an awful lot about Power Rangers.
I know enough, but it's not a toy line that I would ever need in any way. But hey, whatever floats your boat.
It's another one where if I
some
what's
at least
Rangers?
one. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that one guy is fucking sick, man.
Yeah, that's the robot guy or whatever, right?
No, the gremlin.
the little
Or the gremlin looking thing.
the little
Goldar?
dude with the this guy.
The toy maker.
This guy.
Finster. Yep.
He's amazing, dude.
Out of all the figures, the guy that makes the putty that turns into the monsters,
dude,
God,
and his
that's so
case opens up
fucking
and
lame.
it's got like the figure, the guys,
The
in it and
monsters,
stuff.
yeah.
And, dude, this thing is. I bought this thinking, I think it was on sale, and I was like, oh well, it's got parts that I could use for fodder or whatever. I opened it up, and this dude is so much fun that I was like, I'm just putting him right into Cosmic Legions as is. I didn't do anything to it. Like, this thing's freaking amazing. So yeah, Power Rangers, dumb. This guy, fucking amazing. So.
See, and it's definitely one of those lines where if I were gonna get into it, like it wouldn't be a huge like if I could get the six of the Mighty Morphin Rangers and then a couple of the monsters, like I'd be good. Kind of like I did with my Turtles collection. I've got the 4 brothers and about 5 villains, like, and I'm good. Yes.
No, Mom, I'm just blowing my dragon dagger.
I did get 2 of the whatever the evil purple parrots were.
Oh yeah.
Carrots. I don't know those.
I can't remember the name of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I had totally forgotten that guy was from the Power Rangers line. So
I mean, a lot of the monsters are really cool. Like,
and I did get the Sphinx one, but that like got disassembled as soon as I got it, and it's in my fodder bin.
No, disassemble.
Sean, what do you got for toy lines that Curtis wants to shit on?
So the one that I try to always look away from is G.I. Joe Classified.
Okay.
The one that I want still is Storm Shadow, and I don't know why. I never was. I liked him as a kid, but over time I've really become a fan of him for some reason. Everybody loves Snake Eyes. I think that's part of it. It's like Snake Eyes is cool, but I always kind of dug Storm Shadow for certain reasons too. And when I see the new waves coming out, like Low Light came out, and some of these other ones, I'm like, man, I liked him when I was a kid, and I played with his figure a bunch. And then, they just had Grunt come out, which I was like, they had freaking Grunt. He was like the first one I ever had when I was a kid, and I played with him the most and all this. And every time I'm like, it's just, if you say you're going to get one, you get one, and then you're going down the rabbit hole. And I've bought the line twice now, not the whole line, but I got into it one time. I had maybe 6 figures, and I'm like, okay, I'll get rid of those. And then I got into it again and got up to about 6 or 7 figures that time, and then I got rid of them again. And I'm like, you're not doing this a third time. You are not doing this a third time.
See,
so
I've dabbled in that one a bit, but for me, that's easy because I don't like any of the heroes. There's not a single character. There's not one Joe that I was ever like, hey, I really like that character. The bad guys are so freaking awesome, though. Like, I love the Dreadnoks. I love Serpentor. Zartan's badass. I want to get a Dr. Mindbender. If they did a hooded Cobra Commander, which they're too much of a pussy corporation to do, but if they did a hooded Cobra Commander, I would definitely get that. But there's not a single Joe. Like your Duke, your Flint, your Shipwreck, and
Chuckles.
None of the good guys I've ever liked. I sit there and watch, like, they've got this on the Hasbro YouTube channel. Stephen Bisciotti hooked me on this thing where they do G.I. Joe 24/7. So you can just go into their YouTube channel and they play G.I. Joe cartoons 24/7. Tomorrow morning, that's exactly what I'll be doing. Saturday mornings, I get up, get a coffee, put on the G.I. Joe and just watch it. And I root for the bad guys every single episode. Every single episode I'm rooting for Cobra. So yeah, it's awesome.
I think the best G.I. Joe episode was actually on Community. So,
okay.
That's
Hot take.
Hot take.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, the Joes are weak. And, I know like Travis is like that with Motu. Like Travis only collects the villains for Motu. Are there any lines like that you guys only like the villains besides those?
I'm definitely more villain heavy. Like, even when I first set up my 2D Tolfs, I did a heroes in one and villains in the other. And the one was packed from side to side, front to back, and that was the villains. And then the heroes had like a ton of room to just kind of chill out and have their stuff. So I had to remix that and it's not even intent. Like, I didn't even think about it. It wasn't until setting them up there. I'm like, why just I think everything. Mythic, I'm more apt to pick up a skeleton or a beast or a creature than I am a knight or a barbarian or whatever, So that's just how my mind leans overall. Like, give me something visually interesting.
Yeah. I'm definitely like that with the Mondo too. Like, if I just have He-Man, Battle Cat, and then the villains, I'm good. What about you, Jesse? You got any lines that you're very villain heavy on?
Nope. Nope. No. I mean,
you're
Star Wars.
You like the good characters, though.
I like all of it. Like, the bad guys aren't bad if there aren't good guys to stand up against them, and the good guys aren't worth anything if there's no bad guys to oppose. So, like,
yeah, but if you were to lean one way or another, you're like, your favorites typically seem to be, at least to me, seem to be the heroes, specifically like powerful hero women, like you really enjoy. So
yes, that is accurate.
What about you, Sean? You got any lines where you're like you like the villains a lot more than the heroes?
G.I. Joe would be one of them. And when I was collecting them, I actually had I might have had more than just 6 or 7 now that I think about it, but I want to say I had way more Cobra than I did Joes. I might have had maybe 2 or 3 Joes, but I had maybe 5 or more Cobra. When I look at my classic shelves, I have way more villains. And honestly, if I have to, I've had to go in and sell some stuff here and there. And usually the ones that I try to sell are the heroes more than the villains, because the villains, when I see those shelves, I'm like, every single one of them is unique and has something that I visually want to keep on this shelf. So then I'll sacrifice a hero every time. And the other one, I mean, Mythic Legions as well. I do like Matt was saying about the skeletons or like a demon or something along those lines. But then the one that got me on that path was actually Transformers when I was a kid, because watching Transformers the movie, and I realized how outnumbered the good guys were, it completely shifted everything about my collecting from that point on. Like, I was like, I kind of like that the good guys have so few and there's so many bad guys. It makes it makes it an uphill battle. It makes it more fun to play.
Yeah.
And the versatility and you could dig deep into your ranks of bad guys. They have all these crazy things to throw at the good guys all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, it kind of set me on a whole different path from 1986 on.
There you go. Joe says
I was doing it too.
Heroes and villains of the Offworld. Joe, it's the bottom of your screen there. Bottom 2 are the villains. Top 2 are the heroes.
I was actually gonna say Jesse's the only hero and the rest of us are villains.
No, top of the screen is the heroes. The bottom of the screen is the villains. There you go.
I can agree with that.
I just thinking about this conversation. I've never really kind of broke it down because I never really got too much into Thundercats, like especially the toys. Like I like the show, but I never really got into the toys. And I think that's because I don't like any of the villains. Like there's not a lot. There's not, in my opinion, it's out of all those kind of cartoons from that era, like Silverhawks and He-Man and Thundercats and stuff. Like I think they are the ones with the least interesting villains. Like Silverhawks have this amazing rogue gallery of villains with all these unique names and abilities and stuff. And I don't know, Thundercats never really gave me that vibe. And I think that's why I never really got into them too well.
The best villain for my money on Thundercats was always Mum-Ra. And I think even from the first couple episodes where it showed all that Lino had to do was hold up the claw shield, and all of a sudden he's scared of his own reflection. Like as a kid, that was a very, like, I got de-stressed in that moment because that whole fight scared the shit out of me as a kid. Because like, imagine there's this thing who's just cackling at you and just keeps coming at you in the jungle. And you're like, why is this thing after me and all this stuff? It was nightmarish. But then when he holds up the claw shield and he's scared of his own reflection, I was like, that's great that he's not an issue now. But that was lame. Like, it just like I was wanting to see a knockdown drag out, and instead it just went to that. But the mutants were never a thing. Like, I'm surprised that the freaking Thundercats had to leave Thundera, because I was like, how did the mutants ever get to that point? The Thundercats,
I think they just outnumbered them. There was just a ton of them.
Yeah, that's probably
the only thing villain-wise that I really enjoyed about Thundercats was Mum-Ra's transformation. Like that whole like ancient spirits of evil thing. That whole transformation scene was amazing. And I don't know, I was just enthralled by that as a kid. But yeah, the rest of the villains didn't do anything.
I'll give my hot take. I actually think that the Lunatics from the second season were the better villains.
I don't even know what those are, so I think I didn't even make it that far.
No, the Pirates were first season. Those were the Berserkers.
Oh, okay.
So they just kind of went in. But no, the Lunatics were the ones that were freed in second season. And they did some shit. They really upped the ante. It was a whole group of actually powerful villains. And That's for me when it felt more like the Thundercats had a challenge. Because before that, it was just Mum-Ra. Like, there were other villains, but they were just, we'll take care of this in 22 minutes, you know, and, Mum-Ra's got his inherent weaknesses, so... Yeah.
I don't think I even made it to season 2 because I have no idea what you're talking about.
Season 2 is awesome. They get the other 3. Yep. They get the other.
I don't remember them at all.
Oh, that's some good stuff. After they get the other 3 Thundercats, Bengali, Linkso, and Jaga, and then the Lunatics get out, and season 2 is where it's at for Thundercats.
See, I got to see the movie with the new Thundercats joining up. And that was also around the time when my family was moving. So that was like one of the last Thundercats things that I got to see. Did you say
there's a movie?
It was dubbed as a movie where it was like a longer episode on TV. It was never in the theaters.
I didn't even know that.
It's like Secret of the Sword. It was a 5-parter that they then made into a movie. They were on video.
But that was like one of the last things I got to see because then we moved from Baltimore up to Pennsylvania. And then I don't think I remember what we couldn't get the channel in that had Thundercats anymore. So that was the end of my. No wonder I don't remember that.
Mm-hmm. It's good stuff.
All
right. So now, finishing off toys. Thinking big picture. What is the best toy line from 2023? So taking the whole whatever was released in 2023 for that line. What is your best line?
Not favorite, best.
We're still in best.
Okay.
So which toy line released the most solid figures? Sean, you're up in the top now. Go ahead.
I mean, that is so subjective. It's hard to go best, but I'm gonna still stick with I think Mythic Legions as of right now. I know Cosmics hit, but Cosmics is still so new that I still need time to get into it more. And honestly, I go towards the Mythic side more than I go Cosmics myself. And also what's coming down the pike is also making me excited too. And that,
well, but that's 2024. We're talking 2023 here.
But the idea of the future of those lines and what they're going to be growing into along the way as well, I'm kind of looking at from that perspective. But even like the 2.0s, Attila and the Gorgos, Hupak, the fact that we're getting some upgrades for these figures after all this time, and they're really interesting. Vorgus, the exclusive for him, and all that. It's like they're doing some stuff where they're listening to the fans, and they're really they're like Curtis has said many times. They're making it hard to want to go backwards. We want to go forwards now with this line and just keep going forwards.
Yeah, so. We had 2 all-star releases, but even they included new figures. So, I can see it. Jesse.
I'm gonna mirror Sean and say Mythic Legions. I am gonna make an addendum, and just because I don't want to repeat everything he just said and have some interest. 100%. I'm all in on Mythics, the world, the lore, all of that stuff. What I will put as my runner-up is the NECA Gargoyles line.
Okay, nice. Yep, they're definitely solid. Don't worry, Stephanie. Pete McCarthy has officially decreed this is not a Legion show. So
stay tuned because this is going to start to really not sound like a Legion show. Because I think the first 2 guys are 100% dead wrong. If they had said favorite, then whatever, it's opinion based. But the question's best. And I think that Mythic Legion last year, we didn't have a big G-Con wave that got delivered. We had the game figures, which were fun, but I mean, nothing amazing, nothing blew me away. And we had an all-star wave, which, had some good characters, but nothing, once again, nothing that was really crazy. So, I think, definitely not Mythic Legions. Cosmic Legions had a big year. A lot of stuff got released. but there was also a lot of QC issues. There's a lot of problems, and I know it's a new line, and I'm not, not shitting on them for having QC issues because I understand what's going on, and they're going to have to dial it in. So that can't get my best. I think Figure Obscura is awesome, but there's so few figures that get released each year. I can't list that as the best. I'm gonna go with Mondo. I think that this past year was Mondo's best year, and I think they had a better year in toys than any other company. So,
fair enough. I can't argue with that. For sure. Like, they definitely had a banner year, great figures, great selection, and not too many QC issues.
With the Mythic Legion thing, 2024, if we end up getting Poxus and Necronominus in the same year,
which we should, unless something drastic happens,
24 could be a banger. So I'm just saying, but 23, kind of flat for me on the Mythic side.
Do you think there's any chance that we get, Poxus is coming.
Yeah.
Necronominus, I think definitely. Is there a chance they sneak in Rising Suns too before the end of the year?
No way.
You don't think so?
Not with All Star 6 and Ox Crew and Book 3 of or the Outpost Zaxius.
Yeah.
I know those are the Cosmic Waves and whatever Cosmic or Figure Obscure. I would be beyond shocked if Rising Suns hits by the end of this year.
I mean, it's projected for Q1 of 25, right?
Yeah.
So
they haven't even gone to retail orders yet, which, unless they're like way further into production on those things already, which, they haven't even been able to submit their full numbers to the factory yet. So
I think even if you take Poxus out of it, if they just deliver, like, forget about Poxus for a second and just focus on if they deliver Necronominus and that All-Star wave with the kind of the year of Necronominus or whatever. So because those kind of bled into each other, and between the Knights and the Skeletons across those two waves, dude, that alone is going to make 24 the probably the best year that Mythic has ever had. But for 23, I got to give it to Mondo.
Fair enough. I definitely hear you guys. I'm not saying anybody's wrong, but for me, I've got to go with Cosmic Legions. They've released some bangers. They came strong out of the gate, and every figure I've held from there has just blown me away. So, yeah, I got to say Cosmic Legions to me is the best line from 2023. And I will say I have not had any QC issues with my figures. I know that
I gotta jump in real quick because I just got a notification on my phone. Says my Lobo has just shipped. How fucking crazy is that?
Nice.
We were just talking about it any day now, and I just got a notification it just shipped. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
But yeah, Cosmic for me has been absolute bangers. I know people have had issues. My Mabira did smell when I took her out of the package, but that went away in like a day.
Yeah.
So
some people were just overdoing it. It's like the whole Blue Debon thing. It's like, people lose their minds over some
was
shit.
that a thing?
So,
Blue Debon?
Yeah, it was a little bit of a thing. So, but there's definitely some breakage and some other issues.
Right. I was going to ask, have you guys yourselves had any of the breakage issues?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've had the Embira, her neck peg broke on mine.
Oh, really?
One of the first figure I opened for Cosmic was the Engineer, and her elbow was like fused and broke. I had to get, that's the only piece that I've ever asked them for a replacement piece because I just couldn't do anything with her arm. There was something else that I was going to mention. I can't remember, but I had one other thing too. And then, the AS, one of his wrists broke. And it's, Jesse's talked about this, like they're super small joints. So, there's just not much there, man. And it's like, you got to be real careful, but even heating it up and being careful and knowing all the things, I still had one of those break. Now, that being said, they threw in like 15 fucking hands with that figure. So, you break one, you just throw another one in there. But yeah, there's definitely some problems for sure.
You guys have any issues up there? Your heroes?
I've had a couple. I think I think it was either an AS or the engineer, one of the 2.0 wrist joints where the peg separated from where it goes into the hand part. But I've had that happen on almost every line of figures I've ever had. At least, like, it happened to the NECA Donatello figure, like, because those hands they're a little softer, and that joint it just popped right out of that little.
Right.
It's almost like a jewelry clip, like a chain clip. It's so small, but I was able to pop them back on. So I was just real careful with my cosmic stuff. The only thing I would complain about is the Canox Vol, his one wrist, the right hand wrist.
Yeah, I've heard about people having problems with him
is
too.
super loose. I've got it posed in a way to where, like, the club is coming down behind the head, so it looks like he's like just getting to raise it.
Yeah. Like he's scratching his back with it. Like, oh, yeah.
Well, sure, yeah. But again, for me, it's not enough to like be upset about or anything. Like, it's sometimes figures just have loose joints. Like, I have a couple Marvel Legends or Black Series that came out of the package, immediately loose.
Yeah.
It's
I
just,
mean, I'm not kicking Cosmic out of bed by any means.
Oh, I know.
Right.
But it's one of those.
I was just curious.
If we're saying best of the year, I've got to at least take those things in consideration,
No, I got you. I was just curious because, like I said, I've had no issues. I know some people have been very vocal. Some people have just been like, hey, this is happening. So I'm just curious in our group how prevalent of an issue.
I'm definitely one of those, but they got like shit happens. Like my my NECA Cityscape that I just put together today.
Yeah.
There's like these supports that you have to put under the second level. Well, they like put these pegs in and like glued them in a spot where you couldn't put these supports in. So I had to go in and like pry out like 5 of these pegs that they glued in order to do the supports to build that thing. And some people would probably message them or message Big Bad Toy Store and say, hey, this is fucked up and I can't build this thing, whatever. I just fixed it, whatever it is, what it is. It still looks beautiful. It just had an issue. So, like I said, I just got to take that stuff into consideration when we're talking about best of the year. So,
I got you.
Well, to kind of, I'll explain why I think Mythic was the best of the year. A, I don't get Mondo, so I have no opinion on that. I can only base on the stuff I got. B, I think with the All-Stars wave, Boreas, Dubon, Xylernian Guard, I think those are all killer figures. I think reinforcements too, that whole wave. I mean, not a lot of it is new parts, but I think that's adding so much. And granted, we haven't had the full release of it yet, but the fact that those were available, that they've been at the shows, and the Valiant Knight is kind of part of that release. I think that really ups. So that's why, like, it made me those 2 waves. So the All-Stars and the
we also have the game figures, which those have a lot of parts and stuff too. I mean,
those are incredibly diverse. My only complaint with them is just the availability of them was more limited. But they are.
And the
I was
price
able
is
to
a
get my
little
hands.
higher. Yeah,
it is. But no more than the Barbarian was, really. I think.
I don't know, the Big Bad Toy Store. What are they, like 75 now? Is that what the Barbarian used to go for, or was that lower? I don't know that I've ever seen
the Barbarian when I joined the community, like before the reinforcements came out.
Gotcha.
They're in that range. Even if now, if you get a Barbarian, it's around like $90 to $100, depending on who's selling it. So, but yeah, that's why I rated them at number 1.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Yep. I mean, Dubon and Xylernian Guard by themselves are amazing figures, and I did have a lot of fun with the game figures, even though it was a 3-year wait or whatever. So yeah, I mean, I get it. After you saying that, I understand. Cool.
And again, not saying you're wrong. I didn't give my argument as to why I thought it was number 1.
Understood.
But you're wrong. So.
Nope.
All right.
This isn't Curtis's restaurant. I'm not telling you what's wrong and what you're ordering instead.
All right, moving on here. So we have what is the best MCU movie that was released in 2023?
Oh, that's easy.
All right, then
Not even
answer
close.
it.
It's Guardians of the Galaxy. I think it's the best thing that they've released probably in the last 3 years. It's not even close.
You're next, Matt.
Boy.
I know. I want to see how much I want to make his head explode.
Don't just answer.
I've actually got to go for 2023.
Are we just talking movies, or you're talking all like shows and stuff too?
No, this is movies. I specifically said movies.
Okay.
So, I've actually got to go with the Marvels. Like now Guardians was a great end to that saga, but it was another end. Like, so the Marvels has kind of reinvigorated where this franchise could go, and it kind of got me excited again, and it's a very well done movie. So yeah, I've honestly got to go with the Marvels for my best of 2023.
Okay. It's definitely one of the movies of 2023. That is for sure. Yes. I've actually not seen it, so I can't say anything. I can't see it be better than Guardians 3, but I guess I'll find out when I watch it. So
you will. Sean, up to you.
I had to look and remember what the heck came out this year. So we're talking literal MCU. It's not just Marvel affiliated, right? Just complete MCU down the line.
The movies.
Yeah. So like the Spider-Verse movie is like not its thing.
That's Sony.
Gotcha. Guardians 3. It was a really good send off. They stuck the landing. And it was mind-blowing to me that, like, literally I'm sitting in the movie theater watching this, and within the first 5 minutes tops, I was like, oh my God, I remember how cool it is to be with these characters again. It never felt like I missed a beat with any of them, even though it's been a while. Yeah. Big and surprised how emotional that one was, but surprisingly not as emotional as Guardians 2 for me. So there you go.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Guardians 2.
Guardians 2. Anyway, we won't do that because I know Curtis will start crying. So.
I will.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Guardians 3 as well and say that Marvel's is the second runner-up or the first runner-up for me. I agree with everything Sean and Curtis are saying. I think just the caliber of that movie, the performances, the special effects, the story. I mean, the fact that I was literally like, I have no problem admitting crying over freaking CG animals being tortured in space. Like, I know it's not real, but like the emotion got me because of the emotion I had in those characters going into it and the fact that they paid it off. Whereas Matt, I agree with you. I think the Marvels did reinvigorate some of those characters and really,
absolutely.
But because they were coming from such a deficit, in my opinion, even though I tried to champion that first movie for a long time until I had to let myself admit it wasn't the movie that I thought it was.
The Captain Marvel is complete garbage. That is one of my lowest rated movies in all of Marvel. So
okay, I mean, but the
I'm
fact that it was
coming
from such a deficit that movie put us in, that they had to work that hard to do that, and the fact that like Quantumania, like I like that movie, but the fact that I could tell that granted, there's no way to go to that state, that place, but I feel like in the Marvels, I felt like I was in real places.
Yeah.
In Quantumania, I felt like I was on a soundstage the whole time. Mm-hmm. And they just made some weird choices with some of the storyline and everything. So yeah, Marvels is second, not a close second, but Guardians, just the Rocket's whole story and where and what that can all go, and the fact that they tied up a lot of stuff for those characters, but I think not in a way that ended those stories. Like we could see more from any of them, even if none of those actors come back. Like,
Yeah,
they're not gone. So
one of the things that on Guardians 3 that I didn't like, but I respect about the movie is that they didn't just put Quill and Gamora back together at the end. Like they didn't,
I love that.
I like that better. I was actually worried they were going to, and I would have hated that if they had.
I was hoping that just for the character, I was like, it's like my heart hurt for him. So like it was something that I was kind of hoping for, but I respect the fact that they didn't, because it would have been, I don't know. I think it probably would have been accepted more by most people, most fans to do it. Like they would have liked it. It would be a happy ending kind of thing. But the fact that they, kept true to the story that they were building and did it that way, I think it works for sure. I just, like I said, my heart hurt specifically for him. So,
well, I mean, if you think about it, for me at least, and your mileage may vary, Quill and Gamora are not a Cap and Peggy or Pepper and Tony or anything like that. Like,
right.
You they were together. There was definitely feelings there, but the fact that at the end they could look at each other and still go their separate ways, and you could tell Peter's a character that he grows and then he reverses, and he grows and he because like he had the power of a god in the second movie, and then he's still acting the way he's acting at the beginning of this one, where he's getting drunk and surly and all that kind of stuff, and it's like it showed he became more of an adult in this one, even though he's had all of this other stuff going on for all these different movies. And it was kind of interesting to have that end part where there he is with his grandpa at the end, and that was something he needed ever since the first movie. He needed his family,
and it brings me back to your whole Love Actually movie, and why I think that movie is so brilliant is because it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Like there's different forms of love, and it, sometimes shit doesn't work out, and so it's good to see that every now and then too, to where it's not just that canned experience where you start out good in the movie and then you have some trife and different things going on, and then at the end everything's all sunshine and rainbows. And sometimes you need a little dose of reality. You need an Empire Strikes Back in your life every now and then. So, yeah.
So next up, I was going to do Best Marvel TV Show, but then I was looking. I think there's only like 3 that came out in 2023. Unless I'm missing one. So we would have had What If, Secret Invasion...
So far it's garbage and garbage. So
Loki 2.
So
I mean, I feel like this was an off year altogether. Loki 2 was okay. It wasn't amazing, but it was okay.
I still haven't finished it. I got like halfway through Loki season 2 and I just not gotten back to it.
Yeah, I think it was a bad year for MCU shows, in my opinion. So my favorite would be not watching them. So
my favorite would be going back and rewatching Hawkeye over Christmas.
There you go. That's the way to go. If you watched one Marvel show this past year, it should have been Hawkeye over Christmas. So
not mine. Sean, Jesse, you want to weigh in, or we good on the TV shows?
I will say least to best: Secret Invasion, Loki, What If 2. That's not to say I think any of the I don't think What If season 2 is like the best thing they've ever done, but out of those 3, it was the one I enjoyed the most. I really liked a lot of the writing, the directing, and like some of the stuff in Loki is what I was going to say. I really like the Benson and Moorhead that were producers or directors on that. I think they've done some really cool stuff. They worked on Moon Knight. They've done a couple movies I like that are really kind of weird, and I really dug that energy for Loki. But there was other things I didn't like about Loki. And yes, what if, yes, Captain Carter, her whole thing I thought was cool. I thought it was weird they spent so much time on her in the series. For as what ify as it is. But with how dirty they did her in Multiverse of Madness, I'm fine with it. And
I will say on the what if, because I know we talked about it in our little group of I said there was 2 episodes that I liked. I liked the Nebula episode. I thought that one was really good, and I liked the Hela episode. I thought the Hela episode was awesome.
Really,
the Hela episode was great.
Yeah, I thought the Hela episode was the best one of the season, but the rest of it was like, man, it was torture. But yeah, I love those 2 episodes. I thought were good. So.
Actually, my favorite from What If season 2 was actually the Peter Quill episode. I thought that was a lot of fun and a really good actual what if, not just we're going to follow Captain Carter around for 7 episodes. So,
I mean, that hasn't happened yet, but
it felt like it. Damn it. Sean.
Yeah, I have okay, so I saw all of Secret Invasion because I was told I had to, and now I don't like you guys as much.
Yep.
I completely, honestly, Loki, the first season of Loki, I was okay with. I think my favorite episode of that was the one where all the variants were there with them, and that was probably the best thing. And so like season 2 flew under my radar so bad that I'm like, oh yeah, I guess that's a thing. I forgot that there's season 2, and I've never gone to it. I watched a couple of episodes of What If just this week because I kept seeing about the 1608 or 1602 episode on social media. So I was like, typically that's a show where you could jump onto whatever episode and just watch that.
You should be able to.
You should be able to. And I watched it and I'm like, that was okay. It wasn't what I was expecting it to be because I was reading some of that book when that came out originally.
Oh, the book is amazing.
The 1602 one years ago.
This was nothing
that was
even
nothing
remotely like the books.
Yeah. So
just like every other Marvel story they've made into a movie or show is nothing like the source material.
It's true, but
nothing like. But I was just stating for the viewers in case they were curious that no, it is nothing even remotely like it. So.
But I mean, that one was like, okay, I see what they did here or whatever. And then I ended up watching the last episode. I still haven't gone to the first part of the season, but yeah, it's like, I guess that one for me is like, okay, it's visually a really interesting thing to watch. And some of the characters, you get more time with them, obviously, versus what you get in the movies. But for me, What If stories always have that feeling of, but this doesn't count because this is always going to be a separate reality than what we're going to get more stories from. But the one thing that I do like about that series that surprised me, at least with season 1 and some of season 2, is they do take the concept and they go, no, this is going to be about the what ifs all the way through versus it being a one and done show, which was originally what I thought was going to be happening. So it makes that premise more interesting, at least to me.
The thing I liked about the Hela one is like, up until I watched that episode, like I kind of thought of that Hela character as just plain evil. Like there's nothing redeeming about that character. There's nothing there's no part of it where she's one of those villains that you go, okay, well, from her point of view, I understand her side of things or whatever. So seeing them take that and kind of give her more of the Thor treatment, where instead of just banishing her away, like Odin, took away her powers and kind of sent her off to Earth to kind of earn them back. And kind of how that worked out. I just thought that was really cool to kind of see, okay, from a parenting side of things, like what if as a parent you made a different choice, you know, and how would it affect the way that your kids, turn out. So from that aspect, I thought it was really cool.
I will be watching that one then, because that sounds pretty interesting. Because like I said, I only watched the last two, and I was mostly on accident with the last one. I was only going to watch 1602 just out of the curiosity for it. But that actually sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a firm believer of, kind of product of your environment and your upbringing and all this and that. So it's interesting to see from the what if standpoint, like the differences that those things would make on somebody's life. If somebody would have just taken that 1 extra second to treat them just a little bit differently, and how would that affected everything else down the road? So
that's cool. Okay, I will definitely check that out.
Yeah, that Hela episode I really like, and like I said, I do really like Captain Carter. I'm not mad she got so much screen time, but I do feel like they leaned on her too much for this story, and the couple times she's like, I'm Captain Carter, and I'm like, that's such a dumb line. Look, I'm not saying that everything they do with the character I like is going to be perfect. But seeing her armor in the 1602 episode, I was super excited about that.
Yeah.
Because I've had those stupid custom. Yeah, because see, I get the she's one of the characters I'll buy a bunch of random stuff for, like her, Rogue, Ahsoka, Raphael, and I got the Funko sodas, they look like little soda cans with the figure inside. I got because the season 2 ones came out, I think, at the beginning of last year. Because I've known about the Native American character Kahori, which I like the character. Again, they didn't build the character up enough, I think, for the powers that they gave her. But I like the story. I like what they did there. It's just like
I felt like
too much too fast that didn't earn.
Yeah, and I felt like that episode was really the shoving the, white men did terrible things to Native Americans down our throats. It's like, it's not a bad thing to kind of hint at that stuff or whatever. I feel like it gets a little preachy at times, with that kind of stuff, and it felt very forced to me. But yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. So
I to finish my thought on that, like I loved it, but I don't even remember what my initial thought was. So I had the soda figure, and that's where I knew that Corey character was coming, because I did the soda. But I've had that Captain Carter one for almost a year. I didn't realize it was like medieval armor. Like I was like, holy crap! I looked at it again the other day, and I was like, oh my gosh, I see it now. I see the pauldrons. I see like the almost like Mythic Legions build to the outfit of it, and I was like. Now, Echo, I know that came out recently.
That came out 2024. So
if that came out this week. So depending on how late this show goes tonight, I'm going to sit down and start watching that.
Yeah,
and they did. My understanding is they dropped all the episodes at once, correct?
Yep. Everything's on there now.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, okay.
I feel bad in actually saying that Echo was one of the first ones where I go, I don't really need this. And I've heard good things. I heard a few good things, but there's just certain characters where I'm like, why do we need anything about this focusing on this one character when there's all these other ones that could be done? Like I don't know why. Like Echo for me is just not one. I don't know.
I'm told if you're a fan of Netflix Daredevil, you're going to love this. So
okay.
And I don't know if you guys noticed, but on Disney Plus, they actually added all the Netflix stuff to the MCU timeline. So stuff's happening.
Cool.
Don't know what it means, but it's happening. All right, next up.
I think recently said that the Netflix stuff is now official.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, they added it into the official timeline. So
I love that.
Especially
Iron Fist.
It's there. Iron Fist, Defenders, Jessica Jones, all of it.
Everybody hates on Iron Fist. I actually like that series, but
I've still never watched any of it.
There's some problems with that actor, but overall, I enjoyed the majority of that show.
Yeah, that came out like when my son was born, and I was like, oh, cool. There's another Marvel show, and I started watching 2 episodes in. I'm like, what's Luke Cage up to? I'd rather see what he's up to. I'd rather see what Daredevil's up to. Let's see what they're up to.
Curtis is not going to be surprised at this next statement, but I hope they bring Colleen Wing back. I think that actress played that character really well. And I'd be intrigued to see what she gets up to if they, and I know the actress keeps turning down other characters in Marvel, hoping she can come back as Colleen at some point. So yeah.
Joe says he liked Iron Fist too. Jessica Jones wasn't his cup of tea. Same. I felt like Jessica Jones was, I don't know. It felt like one of those movies that throws things in there so that they can earn the R rating that don't really need to be there. That's what Jessica Jones felt like to me. Like it was shock value for the sake of shock value. So I don't know.
I feel like most of the Netflix shows were like that to some extent.
Kinda, yeah. Punisher and Daredevil was the best. Doug Collector says Punisher and Daredevil was cool. I like the Punisher season 1 and 2 as well. Like I think he does a great job as that character. So can't wait to see him in the MCU. So
nice,
beautiful. What's next on the Duch agenda?
Best DC movie. Sean, go ahead.
Oh, for the love of God, I can't even.
Nope.
Okay, so
nope.
Let me think. We had Shazam 2, Blue Beetle, and Aquaman 2. Was there any other ones?
The Flash.
Oh, fuck that movie. The only good parts of that were Michael Keaton, and he got done dirty in that too.
That wasn't even good.
I will go with Shazam 2. I got no other choice on this. Yeah, I took my kids to see that in the theater, and they absolutely loved it. The whole unicorns bit. My daughter, to this day, if she sees Skittles, will lose her freaking mind.
I love it.
And it wasn't everything I was hoping for it to be, but the whole message about the family thing really worked for me on a lot of levels. The way they did it in there, and yeah, it's one of those. I think that was around when they were starting to reboot everything and saying like, okay, we're gonna. So that was like one of the casualties of the change of leadership. And people weren't going to it as much, if I remember right. So, yeah. But I still felt it was a pretty solid movie.
Black Adam might have been 23 too, or was that the end of 22?
I think that was the end of 22.
It might have been.
I think
you're right. All right, Jesse.
I have not seen Aquaman yet or Blue Beetle. I do want to see Aquaman. I'm not super invested at this point just because I know it's kind of like, well, we already filmed this and it got delayed so much we have to put it out, or you know, like and I like Jason Momoa as Aquaman, so I'm intrigued to see what they do with the world. But of course the whole I like the character of Mara, so knowing like all that stuff with Amber Heard and all that made me not care about that version of the character anymore. It just so I'm not super bothered that she's not in it that much, but I liked their dynamic. So like one of the things I liked about the first movie won't really be a part of this one as much as I understand. But yeah, I'll go with Shazam. I like Sean said, I really like the family story and the dynamic with Billy and the rest of the foster kids and everything. I thought that was really cool. And the parents, there was a couple things that, they went over cheesy on that they could have dialed down a little bit, but the giant wooden dragon and the creatures, I think, were some of the coolest designs. Again, they did the whole Warner Brothers things where they really washed everything out to where they just looked like black gray masses. And there wasn't a lot of personality to the overall look of the color schemes and stuff, but yeah. So Shazam 2.
I have not seen Aquaman 2. Yeah, that's true. I have not seen Aquaman 2. That's one that I'll probably wait for it to come out on, streaming, and I'll watch it, but I don't have like a whole lot of interest in it. Blue Beetle was fucking garbage. I mean, Mexicans using computers. Let's see. Flash. I actually love the Keaton parts. Not only the Keaton part, like him, like Keaton himself, but just some of the callbacks to the whole Tim Burton Batman kind of series. I liked all that, but the movie itself, like other than that part of it, was not good. Shazam, I didn't think was the greatest as far as the villains, but I still like that character. I like his family. I thought that was good. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Shazam by process of elimination. But it's, DC is a fucking dumpster fire right now, and just hoping that Gunn can get it back on track. So,
and I agree with all you guys. Shazam 2 was obviously the best thing that they released. Although I actually watch Blue Beetle. Well, I finished it today. I watched half of it last week, and I finished it today. I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was really good, and I thought it was a good representation of the Jaime Reyes Blue Beetle. Like, it translated very well. So I would not mind seeing more set in that part of the universe.
No, 2 thumbs down.
You're wrong. So,
okay.
Well, that's okay.
Joe's with me, so that's all I need.
You and Joe on a mountain. Yep. And I like that they actually brought up the Ted Cord Blue Beetle in the movie. They didn't just ignore that
cool
part.
At the end.
So, yeah, you actually got to see. Now they mentioned in the beginning, but then you actually got to see his ship in the end. So that was, it was a lot of fun. Where, most of the times when they do that, especially when they're using the second version of a character, they will just skip over it nowadays. So
I'm not big on the whole, like, this isn't for you kind of thing. Like when people say, oh, well, it's not meant for you, whatever. Shut the fuck up.
I didn't say that.
But no, I'm just saying, like, in general, when people say that. But I did feel watching Blue Beetle like that was not meant for me. Like I'm sitting there watching it like this is really aimed at a younger audience. And
that's why it connected with me.
Yeah, I guess. Like I just sat there watching it going, like, some of the stuff is super fucking corny, but maybe kids would like it. And I don't know. I just watched it feeling like this really isn't meant for me. And so, yeah.
I took my kids to the theater to see that one, and my kids actually really did love it. So there you go. Yeah. I mean, I had a fun time watching it. I didn't find it to be, a bad movie in any way, but there were things about it that had me kind of going, why did they make this decision here or whatever? But I think probably one of my favorite bits, though, was the fact that Ted Cord was making devices out of like power gloves and all that stuff, so that it was like these homemade devices they were using to fight during the ending was really it worked for me on just the silliness of that. So
the collector does say that Aquaman was better than all of those.
It could be. I've just really limited what I've seen in the theater because there hasn't been any movies that really have wanted me to go out to. Like, Marvels was the first MCU movie I've not seen in the theater, like, out of all of the MCU. I don't know. I've really limited what I'm actually going to the theater to see and pay money for.
I have still not watched all of the first Aquaman. I still can't make it through that. So I don't even know if I'll ever see Lost Kingdom, to be quite honest. So, yeah. It's one of those I start and I get about 20 minutes in. I'm just like, I've got other things to do. So.
Yeah, I had to watch that Blue Beetle in like 5 different segments. I had to like keep stopping, and I'm like, I just need a break from this. So it took me like 2 or 3 days to make it through the movie. So
see, I just split up because I had to. I started it at lunch and I had to go to an appointment, so I didn't have enough time. Otherwise, I would have watched it all in one sitting. All right. Next up.
Eddie, 100%. 100%. Their animated stuff is amazing.
Yeah, I'll give you on the whole. I have not seen any of the recent stuff, but yeah, on the whole, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
I think with that though, they really built off of, the Batman the Animated Series, Justice League Unlimited, and they kept a lot of the same voice actors. so it, they just kind of kept what was good and then just kept going. So yeah, some of those movies are really spot on.
All right, now we're going to just open it up. We've gotten the DC and Marvel stuff out of the way. If you guys want to do one or two, I know it might be hard to choose, but just what is your best movie/movies of the year? Jesse.
I'll give you my top 3.
So there'll be 5
Is that
of them?
all right?
Okay, go.
Godzilla -1
Okay.
is number 1. Guardians 3 is number 2. And Across the Spider-Verse is number 3.
Haven't seen Godzilla, but the other two are absolutely. I'm not saying it can't be, but I just haven't seen it. But yeah, I can absolutely get behind the other two. Curtis?
Come back to me.
Sean?
See what came out this year.
I'm doing the same as him. I'm
go.
like, what the?
If
So
only we'd have known what categories were coming.
I knew they were coming, but now I'm also like, is there one I'm missing? Is my thing. I know it's
Yeah.
No,
Same,
I'm making
also
fun
like-
of Curtis for not letting Matt tell us what the
He
categories
is,
were.
but that's fine. I know Jesse still loves me deep down.
I like it.
Not even just deep down.
I guess I'll just have to go with Across the Spider-Verse for me, and then honorable mention to Super Mario Brothers movie. I had no idea how much fun I was going to have watching that movie.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go Across the Spider-Verse. I really liked what they did in that movie, especially like the how when they went from one world to the other, like the whole just like, everything changed and the tone of it, and when they're in Gwen's world, like the colors of the like when there's certain emotion in the scene, how that changes and stuff. I really enjoyed that movie. So it was a close one between that and Guardians, and I just, like Sean said, I had to make sure that there wasn't something else that I was missing. But yeah, this was not a great year for movies, but I would say those two were the top, and I would give Spider-Man the edge.
Yeah, definitely agree with all your guys' picks. The only one I'll throw out there for my list that you guys haven't said already is Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves.
Number 4.
I really enjoyed it.
Was that this year or was that 2022?
That was
that was
was
2023. Yep,
yeah,
absolutely
and it came
was.
out on digital during the summer because that's when I got it.
Yep.
Oh.
So
I know another one that I forgot that would be a good one too. That Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, the Mutant Mayhem.
I still haven't watched that. I haven't seen it yet.
That's a lot of
Damn
fun
it.
too. Yep. And Mark Rivera just said that.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's my number 5.
Yeah,
that
I gotta watch
was a
that.
lot of
still.
fun. I enjoyed that a lot more than I thought I was going to. Like I kind of reluctantly watched that, and it was a lot of fun.
And I think that's it. I think there's Curtis, you hit it on the nail earlier. There hasn't been a lot in 23 that was like, I've got to see this now. But definitely Spider-Verse was the big one that I had to go see that when it came out. And then everything else I just kind of picked up here and there. I know the Collector just brought up Oppenheimer. I've heard a lot of good things. I still haven't watched that. But yeah, so I still got to watch Mutant Mayhem. I haven't been prioritizing some of this
Mutant
stuff.
Mayhem's fun. And I enjoyed that April a lot more than I thought I would as well.
Yeah.
Oh man. That one would be my third. That would be top 3 for me right now. Now that I think about it.
Sound of Freedom? I don't even think I've
Never
heard of that. Oh, that sounds like a Jesse movie.
Nope. I know what it is, but I haven't seen it.
All right.
All right.
Why does that sound like a Jesse movie?
I don't know. You're free.
Elaborate.
You're free. Power of One, Sound of Freedom, 3 words.
That's
Of in the middle.
Good grief.
All right, next.
And this one I will open up to, even if you just did it this year, best book / comic book that you've read this year.
Ooh.
that came from this year? Or
No, that's what I said. Just as long as you read it in 23. Because I know no one. I don't think. Well, Jesse's probably up to day and date on comics, but I'm not. And
not anymore.
Books I just pick up whenever. So
who's starting?
Wow.
I'll go ahead. I've still got to say, and I'm still just partway through Black Cauldron, but Book of 3, Black Cauldron, the Perdan series that Jesse turned me on to. Definitely the best thing I read in 2023. I am looking forward to starting Jesse's book that he sent me, with after much begging and pleading, he finally deemed me worthy to read it. So that's coming in 2024.
Kept forgetting to send the email. That's all.
That's this has been an interesting episode. I found out that Len hasn't been sending me heads and Jesse hasn't sent me a story. So
oh god, I had to beg.
You don't read books.
I
asked. You didn't
I
ask
had
for
to.
it.
Dude, I was begging him for months, and then like there just some rando was like, "Hey Jesse, can I read that?" He's like, "Hell yeah!" And I'm like, "All right, cool. I'm just chopped liver." But, yeah.
I kept thinking I sent it to you, Matt. It was. I'm not saying it wasn't my fault. It wasn't like an intentional diss.
All right.
So, yeah, that's
Sean.
where I'm at. Sean, it's up to you.
I cannot think of much. I mean, I read the Masters of the Universe comics this year
I
for
wouldn't
our
say
show, and that was about
unless
it.
by default that's the only way I could get behind those as of the year.
No, I would never say that in any way, shape, or form. I honestly would have to say I got to pass on this one because I don't think I read anything that really was like wow. I mean, I reread Action Comics 800 when we were going to talk about that one for Have You Ever, but I read that before 2023.
The Red Death mini comic.
Yeah, but that's still I wouldn't even count that. That's why it's like I don't typically read books because I don't have an attention span that I could sit there. And on top of that, having kids and all that, it's like I don't try to even do novels. But then it's like even with comics, I fell off the radar for a couple of years now, with the exception of the Masters stuff. So.
See, I love reading novels. I don't have the time to focus in on them, so it takes me forever, and then I get frustrated.
So yeah, that's about it for me.
And it looks like Jesse's grabbing the one that he's going to talk about.
Ooh, grab it, Jesse.
I haven't finished it yet. I've barely started it, but it's the only actual physical book because I've spent all my what would have been reading time listening to the Critical Role podcast. So I got through like almost over 8 years of gameplay in less than 12 months. But I did start reading The Red Harbinger from Khalid Udin.
Heard of that. Why?
He was on Legion's Lounge before Legion's Con. He
had it at Legion's Con. That's where I saw.
He was over in the room, kind of near you guys.
Yep.
I wanted to pick those up from him there, but I forgot to go in there with money at one point and didn't get them.
Mm-hmm.
So I got on my Amazon. I started reading it. I'm digging it so far. It's a fantasy world. It doesn't feel like, oh, I know where this is going. Like it's definitely got its own take, and I'm enjoying it so far. So
nice.
Yeah,
check that out. Real quick, you did mention Critical Role. I was gonna start, but where did you find all of the episodes? Because on my podcast app, it's only got like the recent ones.
So there's, at least when I started listening to it, it was on the Apple podcast or whatever, and I had to stop listening on there because after a certain point, it would skip back or skip ahead. And I don't understand. It was only on that platform. So I started using Podbean, but they had it as two different. There were, at least on the Apple one, there were two separate Critical Role podcasts. There was one that had like a white logo with black letters, and that's the early ones.
Gotcha.
And it'll say something like, C01E01 or something like that. And then the later ones have like a black background with white letters.
That must be what I was missing. I must have found the later one. And I did have that.
So it
problem.
goes Vox Machina, Mighty Nine, Bells Hells as the teams. So
Gotcha. Yeah, I gotta check all that out still. Curtis.
I actually did quite a bit of reading this year. And I think out of everything I read, I'm gonna have to go with Batman: The Long Halloween. I think was my favorite. It was it takes you through. There's this serial killer, and it kind of takes you through the whole year, and each month there's like a killing on a certain holiday and stuff. And Batman's trying to solve the mystery of who the killer is, and it takes some turns and twists that you're not expecting, and it's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that quite a bit.
Very nice. That is a good one. I would recommend for you to check out the Marvel 1602. It's a graphic novel as well.
Okay.
It's self-contained. It's an Elseworld story.
Okay.
So that it's a lot of fun. I would throw that on your list if you're looking for stuff for 24.
All righty.
All right. And what do we got next? So we got sorry, my wife just texted me something. What was your favorite moment at Legion's Con in 2023?
Who we starting with?
You can go. You talk first.
I will go. I got to throw out two. I mean, and there's like a million things at Legion's Con, but I got to throw out two. I think us doing the show to close out Legion's Con was amazing. It was way better than I thought. I mean, it was one of those things where we had no plan. We had no idea up until the last minute of the last.
Well, technically,
day.
we had a plan, but as we went on, we're like, that's not a good plan.
And then we were changing things, and like we didn't really know how it was going to work. And then we ended up just finding a table in the hallway, not knowing that it would be a good location. And then all of a sudden, like everybody had to walk by us to go to the bathroom, and it was just. Yeah, it just ended up being an amazing way to close out that weekend, and just kind of have an extended goodbye to Legion's Con. So I really like that. And then right after that, my second moment is kind of a continuation of that, because we finished that show and I'm headed to bed, and this is going to be, it like Legion's Con's over. I'm going to wake up in the morning and go home.
Yep.
And I had to leave because my son had a flight out of the airport. Like we had to be up at I think 4 a.m. or something. So I knew I wasn't going to see anybody else, and I didn't get to say goodbye to Emil. And so I as soon as our show was over and stuff, I got ready to head upstairs, and I texted Emil. I actually got up to the room, and I was kind of feeling bad because I was like, oh man, I didn't even say goodbye to Emil. And so I texted Emil and I asked if he was still up, and he said he's like, yeah, he's like, everybody else is asleep, but I'm awake. I'm like, well, can I just come see you in the hallway just to give you a hug goodbye? And he said absolutely. And so we met in the hallway on his floor and hugged each other and said goodbye, and it was just really cool and sweet. And that was just a nice little final moment. So those two kind of combined to me together as like the closing of Legion's Con, and I think it was kind of the best possible ending for sure.
Wow.
Yep.
Curtis completely surprised me. I literally wore the shirt because I thought he was going to bring up that moment there.
No,
but
that was good, but
no, I'm just going to take this off and we're just going to. Definitely that was a great moment. I've got to go with obviously winning the Dio raffle.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
Get it, and then on top of that, because they were like, "Oh, it'll be the Dio and some figures," and no one was really sure what some figures meant. So then when they're like, "Yeah, just take all of the cosmic that's been released so far," it's like awesome. and to have those dials there and everything else, that's definitely a show-stopping moment for me.
Yeah, that's a good
Sean?
one.
There's a couple that I have in my head, but I think the one that I'll just go to just for the heck of it is Skavar. That one, I went in there not knowing that was even going to be a thing. And on top of that, I think the figure is great to begin with. I even if it wasn't named after me, I would be looking forward to getting hopefully doing a pre-order for it or whatever. And then to have that surprise. And then, I mean, I'm sure there's runners up, but I'll just stick with that so that I don't have to keep going and going and going. So.
That's a good one. I mean, winning a raffle's good. Getting a tribute figure, that's pretty fucking awesome too. So yeah, those are a couple unique experiences.
Absolutely. Jesse, bring us home.
I'm gonna go super cheesy because that's what I am, and probably a good 43% of what I eat.
I love that it's 43. It's not just like 50 or something. 43.
Good number.
Is the moment the four of us were like together for the first time. And I don't even remember that exact moment, but I just remember at some point I'm like, "Hey guys, we're all here." Like it was a very like brief moment because I think it was either during setup or it was amid the chaos of everything, so it wasn't this big.
I think it might have even been right after G-Con because I got to the hotel right after, and you guys were leaving the room, and I don't remember if Curtis was there yet. Maybe he'd gone upstairs.
I think it was right after G-Con in the hallway. Yeah.
Oh, and then you had to leave right away. That's what it was. Like you had to go. So it was just like this brief initial.
I feel like we were in the lobby, like right near the edge of the pub.
Right.
And all of a sudden, Matt just slides up behind us and he's like, "Hey guys," like all quiet, like he'd been there the whole time. And it was just, like I said, it was just like a real brief moment. But yeah.
And I think it was right outside the G-Con room, like like when you walked out there, we were right there, and he slid up next to us.
The pub's there, right around the corner from the pub. Where they were setting up the statue and everything. So, I just loved that weekend too, like because obviously show Matt right. I'm always talking, won't shut up. You got to mute me. And I just remember it was really good getting to know like the real you guys and everything. And I know even Jesse like kept asking me a couple times early in the weekend. He's like, "Are you all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." Why? And he's like, "Because you're just like being there and being quiet." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just taking it all in, baby."
I think the funniest part was seeing all these people that thought you'd be like this little tiny guy. And they're like,
for some reason, everyone's
actually
always
kind of big.
They're always surprised at my height. I don't know why. But everyone always thinks I'm going to be a short little fricker.
Yeah.
That's me out of the two of us. I wouldn't say I'm ridiculously short, but I'm definitely not over 6 foot tall. So
No, you are not. Absolutely not. All right. What was your best off-world show moment in 2023? I can go first because mine's easy. I love you guys. I love everything you've done, but I really think we hit the gold with the turning the off weeks into 2.0 in the tryouts and culminating with me popping in on the final one. We got some great guys lined up that are willing to come on and help us out whenever we need it, and expanding the community in that way. It was a lot of fun. Curtis really took that by the reins, and it just I really enjoyed that. It was a hell of a lot of fun to run through all that. So
cool.
Yeah. Sean, up to you.
I'm gonna go really simple. I was really, really impressed when we had our theme song. And it's one of those things where every single time, no matter what kind of a week I've had, if I hear that theme song, it puts me in the right mood to go, I'm going to do this, unless you guys talk about Clone Wars, and then you know what I look like on the show when you talk about Clone Wars. But
you know what's a part that doesn't get enough credit though with the theme song is the video, the intro that Duch put with it. Like it doesn't get enough credit. Like it works so seamlessly together.
The whole thing. I mean, when he sent us the just the sound file. And I got to listen to that. And I remember, I hope Jeremy doesn't take this as a saying that he's bad or anything, but my kids personally, when they think of rock music, one of the first people that comes to mind to them is Bon Jovi. Nice. And so for them, the minute they heard the theme song and they heard my name in the theme song, they go, John Bon Jovi singing your name. And I go, it's not John Bon Jovi, but it's a really cool guy that wrote it for us. So, that's funny. Jeremy DeWitt's awesome, But that, and then when I
don't know that Jeremy would appreciate being real.
I don't think he would.
He should.
As much
Bon
as
Jovi is amazing.
I love Bon Jovi. I grew up on Bon Jovi, but I think Jeremy would just look at me and go, "I hate you and I hate your children," and then he'd probably go, "No, just kidding. I love you," Or whatever. But yeah, for me, like that was cool because like when I saw the video and I was like. The fact you put Galaxy Quest in there, which is one that all four of us absolutely love, and you got Colossus in there, and that Lobo bit kills me every time I see it because it's like that's like one of the longer parts of it, but I love that sequence, and I'm always like, yeah, he wins again. There you go. It's inevitable. Curtis got that
take it out thing, like right at the so good.
Yeah,
and I loved how we rolled that out too, because you guys had your theme song that unveiled for Legends of Grayskull, and we, Jesse and I had heard the audio file for ours, but we didn't. The animation stuff wasn't done yet, so we did one episode where we were, I was just complaining about how you guys got this awesome theme song, and we didn't have a good one, and then the next week, then we've got the awesome new intro and everything. So like the way that we rolled that out too was, it was a lot of fun.
Absolutely, Jesse.
Shoot.
No, Shooting the Shelf is a different show. This is OffWorld.
It is.
You're confused.
You said it, not me. Yeah, because I'm so good at self-promotion. Ask Curtis. He literally had to join the show to get me to promote the show. Man, I don't know. Like,
it's time for a cheesy Jesse answer.
Wow.
I just love being with you guys every week.
It's like, I don't know. I really don't like being around you guys.
No, it's hard to pick because and so much of it is just kind of a blur. Because it's Friday night, it's the end of the week.
I can tell you one that it's not, and that's the discussion of Power of One. That is not his favorite moment.
No, honestly, it's up there because like coming back and hearing you guys, because I was pissed. Like just so people watching, if you watch that episode, like I was furious and I didn't know how to process it, so I just left. I went over to the TV. I put a movie on. I was going to start watching it. I'm like, I can't calm down. Like I turned my phone off, everything. I didn't want to have, I just didn't. And I'm like, this isn't you. This isn't right. So I waited a few minutes. I calmed down. I got back on and to come back on and to hear you guys talking about it more and whatever was going on in that moment. Like that's a standout moment. I don't know if I would say it's a favorite, but it's a powerful moment for me. I'm not saying I was powerful, but just that you guys were still talking about it after I left.
You were a powerful one. So
yes.
But I know it was said in jest, but when Curtis was like, Jess is getting me to frickin' read.
Yeah.
Like that, the first time you said that, like, I was just like, oh, I got that one starfish back in the ocean kind of a thing,
Yeah, that was you are the power of one.
I'll tell you what, jumping on the back of that really quick, one thing that blew my mind this year was the fact that Curtis said that I have given him, through the Have You Evers, Action Comics 800, he wanted to find a slabbed edition to be like a good copy of that because it meant something to him reading that. And then on top of it, having Love Actually now be something that he referenced it even this episode. And I'm just sitting here going, I feel like the Grinch, and I didn't think I was the Grinch, but my heart grew 3 sizes because I'm making Curtis influenced with things that I like, and he's going, "Hey, that's pretty cool, Sean. I like that." You know, it's so I completely get what you're saying, Jesse. Completely get it.
Awesome. I am gonna go with the Legion's reveal after parties. Yeah, we did 2 of them this past year.
Mm-hmm.
Which kind of led to, you know, closing out Legion's Con and stuff, and those, you know, when they were doing the reveal specials and then we would go live right afterwards, we had a lot of guests on, we had a lot of engagement, we had some time to really process each of the new reveals that came up, and I just thought those were a ton of fun. So I hope that there's some more of that, you know, this next year where they do kind of a reveal special or something on a Friday and we can do like an after party thing. Cause I just thought those were just a ton of fun.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
And we got a lot of people watching like that. Those are, you know, some of our most viewed episodes is just those, you know, after party ones. So
Yep. Same time.
Waffle Stomp. Yeah.
Waffle Stomp, number 1 in Joe's world. He won't use a computer.
That's the first moment from the show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That and Jesse shitting on the proposal.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Boo.
To be clear, there was no shit in that actual story.
Yeah, that is correct.
All right, Jesse, you had a category you wanted to throw out. Go ahead there, buddy.
So favorite show, new show or series from the year. I don't know if Curtis and I are gonna say the same one, so I'll let Curtis go first and
go
I'll
ahead,
wrap it up.
Jesse.
So as
All
in one that started in 2023? Is that the idea?
I'd say yeah, if you don't have one that came out in 23 that you started, you know, one that you know was maybe at least new to you in 2023.
Gotcha.
If that helps.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go now. This was recommended to a friend who then recommended it a couple times, and I finally took time to watch it. So thank you, Trevor, and thank you, Curtis. I'm going with Blue Eye Samurai on Netflix.
Okay.
Without spoiling anything, the art in that show is freaking gorgeous. The soundtrack is amazing. The voice acting is great. There's a couple parts where like they use some modern music, which is kind of fun, but I don't like that as much as just the traditional score in it. But it's a beautifully animated show. Like it feels like watching like some sort of like paintings come to life, and it's a really, really great story, really engaging. I don't feel like any of it wasted any time because Netflix sometimes will pad out extra stuff. Not so much in the animated show because they have to make it, whereas, you know, live action stuff, they can just film it and cut it and make it longer or whatever. But it got to the point I never got bored. I think I watched the thing pretty much beginning to end. Like I watched one episode Friday night and then I watched the rest of it the next day. So
wow. That's a
definitely
really good recommendation, Jesse. Thank you. I'm gonna have to check that out based on your recommending it.
Make sure you know that I watched it because Curtis and Trevor recommended it.
Yeah, Trevor, I saw Trevor recommending it on, like, there's so many shows that Trevor would just be in the chat just like spamming it. Blue Eye Samurai. I'm like, I actually watched it just so I could see what kind of garbage it was so I could make fun of Trevor. Like that was like my main reason for watching it. And I fucking loved it. It is definitely, for me, it's definitely the best of this past year. And as I was watching it, I was already like planning on watching it again. Like as I was going through it the first time, I'm like, oh, now, like, because they keep building these characters. And so then you kind of want to go back and telling you a little bit of backstory about them. So then you want to kind of like go back and rewatch the other episodes beforehand to see it now with that new perspective of, you know, that person. And so, yeah, I think that's definitely the best. One other one that I'll mention that was recommended, we were doing a show with Bill Mancuso and Sherry from the studio, and Bill Mancuso had recommended Scavenger Rain, which is on Max. It's another animated series. That one is really good, but I will tell you, for me, it gave me a lot of anxiety. Like, just without spoiling anything, these folks are trapped on a planet that's not their home planet, and like there's just all this life on the planet that is all dangerous. So like everywhere they turn, like anything can kill them, and so it's just one of those really it's very intense. So I really like that series as well. But Blue Eye Samurai for me, like way better than anything else I watched this year. So
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll echo that. It is probably the best thing I've watched this past year, period. Movie, show, otherwise.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Whatever otherwise would be.
I'll check that out then.
Homeless people fighting outside.
Okay, no. That's no.
I'm trying to think what else Jesse would have been watching.
Of all the things that possibly could have come to your mind, that is probably the thing I would never have gotten to. And B, I'm probably the most like not worried about you saying that.
Duch.
So for last year, definitely Last of Us needs to go up there. That was a thrill ride, and I had not played the video games at all, so like I was experiencing that with fresh eyes completely. I really liked that. It was really well written, well acted, and a lot of the cinematography was so well done where like they're driving and you feel like you're in a video game like cutscene. So yeah, just really well done there. If I could throw out a couple honorables here, one, just because I was surprised how much I liked it, was the My Adventures with Superman, that new animated Superman show. Clark, Lois, and Jimmy. I had very low expectations, but that was actually a fun little ride throughout, with some great Easter eggs and nods thrown in to Superman lore in general. So that was definitely a surprising one for me.
It's definitely a good series for sure.
Yeah. Like I expected nothing of it. I'm like, oh, they did like a Teen Titans Go or a Thundercats Roar type thing with Superman, and it was so much better than that.
I'm not a huge fan on the whole Jimmy Olsen race change that they've been doing in a lot of forms of media lately, but
yeah,
other than that, it was good.
Mm-hmm. But his character felt a lot more like Jimmy than he has lately. Like they've really tried to make Jimmy a more like confident and powerful character, and like that's not Jimmy. Jimmy's that geeky little guy. So and the last one I want to throw out there was Shrinking with Jason Segel, Harrison Ford.
I haven't seen that yet, but I've heard good things.
It's another one that kind of, I'm like, Jason Segel, sure, like, but it's actually pretty deep and very well done. Like again, a lot of the stuff I think is best is the stuff that takes me by surprise. Just like, okay, that was really enjoyable. So,
like the Spanish Inquisition.
Is that on Apple TV?
Yep, Apple TV.
Okay.
Yes. Brett Goldstein, who was Roy on Ted Lasso, is one of the writers on Shrinking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think
so it's got similar. I'm not saying it's the same here, but there's a similar tone and kind of like.
Well, Greg Daniels did both shows, didn't he? Or am I thinking of the wrong guy?
I don't know. I just know Roy was involved in writing on
Brett
both
Goldstein's his name. That played Roy.
Yeah.
No, yeah, but I mean the creator of the show.
No, it's also the dude that did Scrubs.
Yeah, that's who it was. It's not Greg Daniels. It's
he's I can't think of his name for the life of me right now.
Bill Lawrence.
Bill Lawrence. He did both of those too, and then also you have Brett Goldstein involved in both of them as well.
Right.
So yeah.
Yep. That's what it was.
Cool.
All right. So I'll throw in a couple honorable mentions leading into my number one because there were a few that I was surprised by. I did like The Last of Us. That one definitely was like must watch TV between me and my wife, which it's nice to have a show where we both are like, okay, we can't watch it until we watch it together. So we did that with that one, and we watched Fall of the House of Usher, which was really good on Netflix. Great one for Halloween time, especially. Another honorable mention, Ted Lasso's final season. That was pretty good. There were some things that were a little rushed, but for the most part, it was a good send off for that series. But my favorite actually is My Adventures with Superman because I wasn't expecting much, like Matt said, and the hardest thing with the character of Superman is finding a perspective to make younger people like him because he is a harder one to crack for younger people. Batman always has the grimness and the vigilantiness of Batman, and having his own cave and all the cool cars and the Batwing and all that stuff. And it's like Superman's just, he can fly and he can do all this stuff. That was cool to me as a kid, but it's not like I can replicate it. But I noticed once this show started online, there's a ton of people that flock to this either through the animation style or because of the character or because the story. And it was one of those things where I rewatched the first few episodes like at least 5 or more times going, am I really enjoying this as much as I'm enjoying it? And the answer was yes, every time. And it was a really fun, different, modern take on Superman. And it showed that there is staying power for this character, even in the 21st century. It's just, you got to have the right people in charge to do it. Just like Smallville did pretty well with that in the early 2000s and stuff. And I'm crossing my fingers James Gunn's got the right mix formula for Superman Legacy and was that next year, I guess, when that hits. So it's doing away with that goddamn grim and gritty Superman shit that they've been doing for 10 years that I absolutely hate.
Like, I am Superman.
Just say it's injustice and just call it a day, Zack Snyder. That's all I wanted it to do, and go, this is not my Superman. Thank you. Let's move on.
Yeah, I'm sick of injustice.
What you got to do, I'm telling you, this is what you have to do. You have to give Superman a mullet, and then everybody will be like, okay, he cannot be grim and angry with a mullet. I mean, have you ever met a mad mullet person? Come on, those guys are always like they're in a good mood.
Well, the thing that got me too is like when you look at the voice cast, typically you have somebody like Tim Daly or I know Jerry O'Connell was voicing Superman and at times and stuff. And they got freaking Jack Quaid from The Boys. And I was like, huh? And then I'm watching the show going, how can that? It makes sense. It makes complete sense. This guy is really doing a great job. So... yeah, that was it was one of my most pleasant surprises of 2023 that I really love that show.
One honorable mention I'll throw out there too from Apple TV as well is Silo. That one is a really good series as well. It kind of leaves on a cliffhanger, so you got to wait for season 2. But I will say, like, I think for the subscription cost, Apple TV has some of the best shows. Like some of these other subscription services are, $15, $20 a month, whatever. Like Apple TV, I think is like $4.99, and C with Jason Momoa is really good. Severance is good. Silo's good. You mentioned The Shrinking. I think the Euro Boys mentioned a couple other shows that are on there. Like they've got a lot of good series on there for the price. Like if you were to say, hey, I'm only going to keep one streaming service and I want to get the most bang for my buck, I think that's probably one to go with.
what surprises me about it too, I mean, I forgot that Apple owned the Peanuts catalog, the Charlie Brown.
Yep.
And when my kids saw that, and then there's another show on there called Stillwater. It's an animated show with a panda who tells parables through like Zen teachings and stuff. It was a children's book series, and then they made it on an Apple TV with that. And it's like there's stuff for kids even on that they will literally sit there and be excited that this is on, and they'll watch it, which blows my mind.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, I'm definitely one of those people that subscribed for Ted Lasso and stayed for all the other content.
Yeah.
You know, so
same with us.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I'll throw out, since I didn't throw out any honorable mentions, I'll put also from Netflix, One Piece, the live action. I really loved that show. I know I've talked about it before. It's weird as hell. It's really strange, but by the time you get to the end of it, not even that far into it, like you just start rooting for that main character. Because there's almost like a Ted Lasso goofiness to him, to where, you know, he's just like kind of hopeful and trying to bring everybody up with him. And I really enjoyed that show. Like I said, the live action. I have not watched the anime.
You didn't watch the anime? Okay. My nephew was big into the anime, and he said that the live action was still really good comparatively. So I haven't seen any.
There was a lot more yelling in the anime, so that's probably not for me.
Reacher 2 is going on right now too, and that is really awesome. I think it might even be better than the first season of Reacher. They're releasing like an episode a week, so but yeah, that's really cool.
Nice. So all right, last thing I've got is looking ahead to 2024. What is your most anticipated figure that's been announced? Jesse, you haven't started in a while. Go ahead.
In 2024,
right, coming up this year,
that we're going to get.
That you're going to get.
Potentially real quick. So I'm only looking at legions and horsemen stuff, because
sure,
I don't think there's anything else I'm as excited for. As I'm cutting back on most lines.
I think it's a good chance that all of our answers are going to be in the legions world. Absolutely.
So we've got Poxus getting ready to ship out fairly soon.
Necronominus for sure.
Outpost Zaxxius, Necronominus, maybe Ox Crew.
Yeah, I'd say there's a definite chance.
I don't know if they have a date on that on the website. At least they didn't last week when I looked.
I'm gonna look right now.
So, based on if Ox Crew is part of it, Kern Ray, hands down. She's the kind of the lone wanderer from the Ox Crew wave,
right?
With that really cool like techno helmet and the soft goods. I'm excited for the potential of that character as it is. Before getting into any customizing stuff. Next up, I would say I can't separate the two of them. I would have to say Necronominus and Conibus, his horse, would be like immediately after her.
Cool.
Good choices. Sorry, I was trying to see if they do not have a release, an estimated release on Ox Crew yet. So
the horsemen, in my mind, the horsemen, they are with their horse, even if they don't come in the box together. Yeah. Like that is the complete figures with their horse. So
I can agree there. Absolutely. Great choices.
For me, I'll kind of give you my honorable mentions first, which would be in Mythic, it would be the two Templars, Elijah and Enoch. Odds are we're probably going to get both of those this year, because I think we'll get Necronominus, and I think we'll get that All-Star wave. So we would get both of those. Mm-hmm. So those would be my Mythic ones. For Cosmic, if we do get Ox Crew, it would be that Orbar, the big green-headed alien.
Yep.
I just love that guy. He's a chunky boy, and yeah, I need some of that in my life. But my number one figure for next year is the Eradicator from Mayfix.
Okay.
Like in that whole Reign of Superman, Return of Superman, saga and stuff, Eradicator is my favorite character. And like I said, those Mayfix ones are hand candy. They're so fun to play with. So having a very detailed, cool looking Eradicator that is, just able to be posed in awesome ways. That's definitely my most anticipated.
Nice. So for me, for Cosmic Legions, if Ox Crew comes out, it's definitely got to be Uka. I just love that weird little alien. If it's just Zaxius, then I've actually got. I know technically he was partially released in 23, but I got to go Scourge. Like I have been anticipating him so much. I tried to get a couple of deals going when he got released through PowerCon early, wasn't able to. So yeah, I gotta. He is definitely one I'm really looking forward to. Honorable mentions on the Mythic side. Arakagor is definitely up there for me. As well as the Tuperculi. Those are both going to be awesome additions. But oddly enough, the one I'm most excited for coming out of Mythic next year is the Undead Builder Pack.
Wow.
I've got a lot. I'm not a big pop and swap guy. You guys know that I'm not a big custom guy, but that is one pack along with some parts I have where I've got quite a few ideas, and I'm going to need probably quite a few packs. So yeah, that's one where I finally got the wheels turning of some stuff I want to do beyond the figure itself. So I'm really looking forward to playing around with that.
Okay.
Nice.
Cool.
Sean?
So with Mythics, I'd say probably Necronominus would be up there. But then one that might trump him would be the Thrasis the Firstborn, I think is his name. Like when they revealed him, I don't know why that one really blew me away. I think it could be the mixture of soft goods with the figure or something,
Sure.
but he's such a distinctive look right there with Necronominus that I was like, yeah, I kind of dig this one more than I expected. And then for Cosmics, I'm right there with Jesse, the Curran Ray, if I remember it. That one's one where I'm like, I need at least both versions of that to display. And
Yep.
I'm not trying to do that with every figure. I'm actually going to try to do it with the new Scapular, though. I want to have the Amir and I want to have Scapular when I get that one. And then the other one for me probably is just Mondo Beastman, because that thing is going to be a beast for real. I mean, it's still like a head taller than He-Man, if I remember right, and that's still a freaking big figure. So I'm going to be toning down Mondo this year because I've been putting a lot into that, and that's a lot of money. So he's definitely up there for me. We'll see what they come out with after that then.
Beautiful. All right.
Are we ready for this week in theaters?
Absolutely.
All right. We've got a random number generator open, and we have rolled a 1995. I am in my junior year of high school.
I am in
Preschool?
5th grade.
Sophomore year. Going into junior year.
God, you guys are fucking old.
The end of my,
I got the white hair to prove it.
I'm it's my last year in school with Sean.
Mm-hmm. He changed schools,
right.
man.
We're looking for January 12th, 1995. And
Oh, baby.
Here's what we've got. We are starting out with Dumb and Dumber. So there you go.
What's that about?
After a woman leaves a briefcase at the airport terminal, a dumb limo driver, his dumber friend, set out on a hilarious cross-country road trip to Aspen to return it, where the beer flows like wine.
Hell yeah.
We've got Disclosure.
I remember that one.
Yeah. Computer specialist is sued for sexual harassment by a former lover turned boss who initiated the act forcefully, which threatens both his career and personal life. So, all right.
So any news story that you can see.
Yeah.
House
Guest with Sinbad. In hot water with the mob over an unpaid debt. The con man poses as a family friend in an affluent Pennsylvania suburb. I didn't know there were affluent Pennsylvania. So
I just figured if the gangster was Curtis, he'd just go, he's in Pennsylvania. Fuck it, I'm not going there.
We've got Little Women. March sisters live and grow up in a post-Civil War America.
My wife loves that movie.
That's the best version of that movie.
Nell.
We've got Nell in a remote woodland cabin. Small town doctor discovers Nell, a beautiful young hermit woman with many secrets.
Okay.
Next, we have got The Jungle Book.
The live action one.
The live action Jungle Book. Then we've got IQ. Romances the mathematician niece of physicist Albert Einstein with the help from his friends.
That's right. Oh God.
Richie Rich.
Macaulay Culkin.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Young rich boy finds his family the target of an inside job and must use his cunning to save them. And then Street Fighter, Jean-Claude Van Damme, one of the most iconic video game movies of all time. So,
who played Bison? Raul Julia.
Yeah, and he died. That was his last role.
Mm-hmm.
And rounding out the top 10, we've got Pulp Fiction. So those are the 10. We'll start at the bottom. Duch.
Oh, Dumb and Dumber. Absolutely. Dumb and Dumber. Get in the theater. Everyone laughing. Fucking hilarious. No contest.
Okay. All right. I'm next.
Yep.
I'm like, who's next? Go. Yeah. I'm gonna go Pulp Fiction. I love that movie. Yeah. So it's that on this list. The only other one, Dumb and Dumber's okay. It's just not one that I love. The only other one that I was kind of thinking about was House Guest because I love Sinbad. I think he's hilarious, and especially in as an actor in some of the roles that he played. But I'm gonna go Pulp Fiction. So, Jesse. If Jesse doesn't say Little Women, I'm gonna be so disappointed. Sorry, I had to do it.
Well, guess what?
Curtis
You're not disappointed. I was going to say Little Women.
He said it was the best version.
There's a long, boring story as to why I would pick it, but of the movies I would want to see on this list, it's the one I did not see in theaters. So, getting to go see it on the big screen would be fun.
I've still never actually watched it. My wife bugs me every year to watch it, and I've never actually watched it.
Hey, freaking Batman's in it, so you can laugh all you want.
Okay,
gotcha.
Christian
Bale.
Yeah, if it was Michael Keaton, I'd try it out.
Yeah, Val Kilmer, maybe.
Yeah, Val Kilmer. Actually, I do love Val Kilmer as an actor. I just hated him as Batman. But Sean, what do you got?
I think I'll join you, Curtis. Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's the only one that, like, out of everything in this, I'm like, I wouldn't have gone to the movies if this was the week that we have right now. Like,
wow.
Oh my God.
So I got a question for you, Sean. In Pulp Fiction, they're kind of bouncing back from storyline to storyline and stuff. You have all these little like segments that they do. Out of all the little segments, what is your absolute favorite out of all those little jumping around scenes?
I still love the whole thing with Bruce Willis and the Gimp deal in that one, because like the minute he gets the samurai sword, I was like, "Fuck yeah, I'm on board with this storyline. This is great."
Yeah.
And just and also on top of that, when the whole restaurant, the whole thing with the restaurant's going to happen, and the holdup happens, and then Sam Jackson's dealing with it.
Just like calm as shit. Yeah, he's just like, yeah. I would say the restaurant probably is second for me. Number one for me is the whole Harvey Keitel as the wolf, just coming in and just like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get some blankets. We're gonna do this and that, and just like cool as shit. It is just I love that part. Awesome. Okay. I wonder what week that was for Pulp Fiction. 13. So Dumb and Dumber was at week 4, still number 1. So
the only new one was the third one. Was House Guest? Yeah.
House Guest was the first week, yeah. So something was hanging on strong there. What's 31? Oh, Lion King.
Oh yeah.
Lion King for hanging on after 31 weeks. So
absolutely.
All right. Get rid of that.
95?
Yeah,
well, that was 31 weeks, so really it came out
because this is January.
January, so it would have been
that would have been
released in 94.
Okay. Yeah.
So it was just in theaters forever.
So next we got Have You Ever, and the Have You Ever for this week was Johnny Dangerously, which was my recommendation. It is a movie with Michael Keaton. He's playing a gangster that is his brother is the DA, and hijinks ensue. And I had seen it before, but some of you guys hadn't. I don't think any of you guys had seen it, right?
Not me.
I never did.
Yeah. So I'll let you guys go first, and then I'll wrap it up after you guys, do your thing. So whoever wants to start.
So
go for it.
I really wanted to like it. Like it's a good cast. As it started, and I saw like we're kind of in that farcical, universe, the Mel Brooks type, Spaceballs, Robin Hood, it's like I got what it was going for. It fell flat in a lot of parts for me, unfortunately. It's one of those like the kind of like we did Powerless on here, where I'm like I was so in love with the concept I forgot that the shows weren't that good. Like I love the idea. I just feel it was missing something in the execution. That being said, like Michael Keaton did a great performance. I think his brother was really good. Like I can't really put my finger on what fell flat for me, but I just usually these kind of movies are just right in my wheelhouse. But yeah, this one just kind of fell a little flat. I just yeah.
Okay. Sean or Jesse?
So okay, the Michael Keaton in this movie made me actually keep remembering Mr. Mom. Yeah. And the reason for that is there's that scene or the sequence in there where he falls asleep watching the soap operas, and then he's in his dream living the soap opera out, and he gets shot, and he's like, damn it, I love this shirt and all that stuff. And he's like trying to get into the body, the chalk outline.
Yep.
And I felt like this whole movie was like a bigger version of that sequence playing out.
Absolutely.
And it even reminded me of Clue a little bit, where it's like this farcical reality. But in like Clue, at least there was stakes when it came to who's going to die next. And there was already a death. So there was, everybody keeps, the person at the door died now and all this stuff. And this one, it's like, it just played it like Matt was saying, it's just like, here's a Mel Brooks gangster movie basically, but it's not directed by Mel Brooks. It's and it's like it has a couple moments here and there, like the one that got me was him showing his brother the film about sex.
Your testicle.
Oh yeah, that was good.
That part got me.
Yeah.
That part got me pretty good. And there were a few like when they're trying at the end of the movie, he's trying to get to they get him out of jail, and he's about to go on the electric chair. They get him out of jail, and while they're driving, he decides, okay, here's how we're gonna handle this, and he starts ripping the car, like ripping the sides of the car off, and
peeling the shelf paper.
And there's shelf paper underneath, and he's actually holding onto the car while it's driving and trying to do this and stuff. And they change their outfits every time, and then like literally a second later, APB out. There's a bunch of nuns in this car, and it's got ducky wallpaper. That was getting me. I was enjoying that.
That was a good one, yeah.
But yeah, it's like I can't figure out what it was missing either. But there was just this element to it where I'm like, it has moments, but on a whole, it doesn't really land as a comedy for me. It's more almost like an SNL sketch turned into like a hour and a half long movie or something.
And I will say, real quick, that it really felt that the bookend, because really the whole movie's a flashback. You know, it starts off with him owning the pet store. So like. Right there,
it's
like
a story
stakes,
within a story,
yeah.
But like stakes are out of it because we already know everything ends up fine. So I don't know. It's one of those right off the bat. That's one thing I think if they had not staged the whole thing as a flashback, which I don't even really see what the real benefit to that was. Like I think that might have helped it in my eyes a little bit. But I definitely agree there were. But then I also cracked up though when he's talking to the kid and he's fucking pricing the pup.
That's the part.
Like there are definitely hilarious moments in it, but just like as a whole, I think they just never found quite their footing as to what they were going for ultimately.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The putting the price tags on the kittens and the puppies was killing me though. I forgot about that bit.
With a freaking full price, go click.
Yeah.
I actually just watched it today. I rushed home from work and made as fast a dinner as possible so I could watch it.
Nice.
I had to resubscribe to Max because I couldn't find any way to just rent it. So
damn it, I'm sorry.
Oh, you should have told me.
I wouldn't have done that.
Of course you wouldn't.
It was either don't watch it and face the wrath of Curtis, or I need to go stand out on the street corner tonight to make sure I can pay for it.
Nice. I'll see you there. Same time.
That said, I enjoyed it. It was funny. It's definitely a movie I feel like I would have appreciated more had I seen it in the 80s or at least earlier in my movie watching experiences.
When did it come
84
out? Was it 84 that was that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. But I like it, and I know why. I think I know why Curtis recommended. We were talking about Oscar one day, and like that, I definitely see the Oscar vibes and the connections to that. And one of the things about this movie, I kept waiting for it to be more
and like they were saying, like not as many stakes. It's almost like a cartoon come to life. Like one time there's the explosion, and like the guy just kind of walks away with like the powder.
Yeah, he thinks he's holding his junk in his hand.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's just the chain. Yeah, I'm fine. You know, it's one of those movies where that like I enjoy it. There's no but. Like I'm not going to come down. This isn't me, you know, hyping it up to like drop a shoe on you. I do agree with Matt a little bit that it didn't quite find, at least for me in this time period watching it down, didn't quite find that thing that worked for me in Oscar. It didn't have the flow of the stage play presentation that Oscar had, because you know it's almost all inside that house except for the couple shots like across. But it's one of those movies that it's like, all right, this was a prototype to like would Oscar have been Oscar without this movie?
I mean, you know, Oscar is kind of like a combination of like this and Clue, you know, like if you were to mix those two movies together. But it does a much better job for sure.
It's definitely fun. I'm glad I watched it. I'll have Max for a month to catch up on some stuff like Blue Beetle.
Yep.
But some of there's some lines in this movie that I'm like, dang, I can't believe that didn't get edited out, like with like today's sensibilities on things, like the lady in the hallway at the judicial, like, or in the courthouse or whatever. I'm like, holy crap, what did she just say? And then, like, I had my captions on, so I was like, oh my god, she really said that.
Yep.
The whole scene where the mom goes to talk to her and she's like, well, we've got a lot in common. Like what? And she's like, well, we both do laundry, we both pretty good lookers, and neither of us are Chinese. And she's like, you've done your homework. It's just so like I like that sense of humor where this is, I feel like, one of those movies, talking about it with friends like you guys is going to be probably more of the fun of it than actually having watched it by myself was. But just the whole thing with that video where he, like, I was like, what's he going to show him? And then the fact that he's like, oh, I'm not getting married. I'm like, wait, that's what he took out of that? Like, I was like, I don't know. I was like, what is this commercial trying to, like, get him to do?
Right.
And when the mom's pouring out the alcohol out of her like, this is a picture, and she's pouring the shots. And the mom, he's like, Mom, it's prohibition. And she says another line. I'm like, oh, dang.
Yeah.
But,
or even right out the opening, like, it's like, 1935, and then the car, like, runs over the numbers. Like,
I like that farcical stuff. I like how he would talk to the camera a little bit. The whole my favorite parts, probably, like you guys were saying, is him with the kid in the pet shop. Like, it makes me want, like, he's pricing, and the way, like, he's got, like, the barcode scanner thing or whatever, as the kid's walking out with the puppy in his jacket. He's like, oh, and there's this, like, clamp thing attached to the dog's tail. And it's when the screen goes wavy. He's like, oh, what's that? He's like, oh, don't worry. It'll stop in a few minutes when I'm done talking about my past.
yeah.
Never came back. Like, it never did wavy again.
Yeah.
I like it after the brother gets married and they're like, we got to find somewhere really quick. And they find, like, the broom closet. And then he finds out that his brother is actually the guy he's trying to take down. Then he leaves. And then you just hear the wife going, you little shit. And then the guy walks into the broom closet, sees her naked, and all you hear is him singing, hallelujah.
So I think this may be a first for Have You Ever. If it's not, it's definitely a first for me. Where I went and rewatched this, and it didn't land with me. Like, I didn't have the same. Attachment or feeling to it as I remembered from when I was younger.
So this is literally Powerless, where I recommended it, and then I'm like, wait, that was not as good as I remembered it.
Yeah, like, I mean, the stuff that you guys are talking about is great. There's definitely a lot of funny parts. Like, I one of my favorites is just the guy that can't say the curse words right. Like, he messes up all the curse words, like, summon them batch and ice whore or whatever. And it's just like everything he says is wrong. Fargan instead, and so I definitely laughed a lot, but the movie as a whole just didn't land with me. I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm just like, I don't know, this isn't as good as I remembered it. And I really thought you guys were going to come and crucify me tonight about this, because I thought you guys were going to just say you absolutely hated it. So I'm glad that you guys took something out of it, and it wasn't just a completely shit show recommendation. But I definitely didn't appreciate it as much watching it as an adult as I remember watching it as a kid.
Yeah, it's a great, it's literally the Powerless. Like, it is a great concept. Like, it should be an amazing movie, but it needed to tighten up that script a little bit. It needed to decide what it wanted to be. Do we want to go full Mel Brooks, or do we want to stay a little bit more Airplane? Like
Yeah.
they're the same genre, but it's a big difference. And it really just tried to kind of straddle both lines and just, I mean, and even logically in the story point, like, like Johnny Dangerously is pretty well known. He's got his picture around, but then his brother can't even figure out it's him. Like, even though we've seen,
I thought that part was funny. That like everybody knew but his brother. Yeah.
But then even what is it, Vermin or something? The
Joe Piscopo.
Yeah, but like he knew, like they ran together as kids, but then he's surprised when he finds out that he's related to his brother that he hung out with as a kid. Like, so even if you want to go the logical story points, like even that doesn't,
Well, I mean, I can break that down where his brother didn't go outside and play because he was clearly in the house studying all the time to be a lawyer.
Yeah, he was studying. He was definitely studying.
So, like I said, I'm glad that you guys took some funny moments out of it. I didn't enjoy it as much as I remembered, and I doubt that I'll probably watch it again. Like I was like, okay, I think I've seen enough Johnny Dangerously for my lifetime now. So I appreciate you guys bearing with me. I appreciate Justin subscribing to watch it. But yeah,
when you said I'm sorry, when I said that, I was like,
yeah, I didn't feel like that was my my best recommendation, but anyway.
Hey, it happens. Like
that's fair. Yeah. That's cool that like you can watch something now, especially if it's something you hadn't watched in a while, and be like, oh, this didn't quite land for me the way I remember it landing.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of them where like Monster Squad, Cloak and Dagger, where I watched it and like immediately I was transported back to being a kid, and I was like, man, this is just it hits all those same feels again.
Yep.
And this just was not one of them. So, but that all being said, I think we're at Jesse. I believe we're at Jesse for Have You Ever?
Are we?
I believe so, because Sean did the Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Mm-hmm.
And before that, I think Duch did something that he said was Christmas-like, but not Christmas, I think.
I did Just Friends.
Yeah.
It
is Jesse.
So I think it is Jesse.
Yeah, because it was Power of One, Just Friends, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, and now Johnny Dangerously. So yeah, we're back up to you, buddy.
All right. Well, it's the first thing popping to my mind, so I'm going to go with it because I did not think about this as being my week to do it, so I did not prepare something more specific. The first thing jumping to my mind right now is a movie with Jason Bateman and
I like Bateman.
Oh crap! What's her name from Saturday Night Live? Tina Fey.
Okay.
Called "This Is Where I Leave You."
Okay.
I have not seen that, surprisingly.
It's a drama comedy kind of situation. You know, it's those two, their brother and sister. Adam Driver is a brother.
Jane Fonda, Rose Byrne, Connie Britton. Yep. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Catherine Hahn. This is hot.
It's a great cast. It's one of those, loving dysfunctional families get together for the passing of a family, the father, and just like all of their stuff. And there's other things to it. But I saw this movie a couple of years ago whenever it was in theaters, and I just really liked it. It's not in my top 13 list, but it is it is one of my like favorite movies. It's not perfect, but it's funny. It makes me laugh. There's some really great moments in it. So yeah,
I'll check it out. But I think I may have already seen this, but I'll definitely watch it again just to refresh my memory. But I gotta admit, I'm a little disappointed because I was hoping and thought you were going to go with Oscar. I thought I even specifically didn't let you know earlier in the week that it was your Have You Ever, so that you would be put on the spot. And I was hoping after Johnny Dangerously, the first thought in your head would be Oscar.
Well, haven't we all seen Oscar? Haven't we all?
Duch hasn't.
I haven't. No.
I haven't.
Okay.
Sean
you haven't, Sean?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll do Oscar another time. But
But yeah, I did.
I like that Curtis's manipulation did not work out in his favor.
It did. It totally fell flat.
And I am looking forward to watching This Is Where I Love Us.
No, that's not the name of the movie.
This is where I leave you.
This is where we love each other. Family loving. No, wait.
I would say I probably would not have recommended Oscar because it's too similar. Now, for the record, if we're back in 2 weeks, I don't know if there's any holidays in there. I don't know if this movie doesn't fit into whatever seasonal things.
We'll be close to Valentine's Day.
It's on Netflix, so sweet. We can watch it for free. So
Martin Luther King Day is on Monday. President's Day is coming up on the 19th.
I mean, it might spoil your Martin Luther King or President's Day if you watch this.
I don't get why Martin Luther King Day is a holiday. Like, what did that dude do?
Oh my gosh.
Well, no, I mean, like, I know what his son did. Like, the junior did some stuff, but like, what did Martin Luther King do? Like, it's
the junior.
That's whose day it is.
Well, they don't call it Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
It is, yes.
They don't call it that, though. They call it Martin Luther King Day, which would be the dad, and he didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Junior.
It is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Everybody just says Martin Luther King Day because it's easier to say. It's a couple of syllables.
Well, yeah,
everybody knows.
He did some stuff.
Well, folks, it was nice knowing you before we got canceled. One episode in the season.
I think
you probably telling
people
didn't
do anything.
It's like sure we were going in the wrong direction.
You don't tell people that you lived in Manuka if they don't know the area around Chicago. You just say outside of Chicago.
Okay. All right. Gotcha.
So, for those of you following along at home, This Is Where I Leave You. We will do that 2 weeks from tonight. Watch along, and so you can join in the chat.
It will be the 26th.
26th.
We don't know what we're doing next week, but we will let you know in the Legend Daddies Facebook group. Join if you have not yet. You formerly Legend Daddy. Now Legend Daddies. Legend Daddies. So, all right. Is that a show? I think that's a show.
There's 3 Legend Daddies here.
Joe says, I know Curtis well enough to never be offended. I just don't know what the dad did other than he, donated sperm to make the son.
Oh my God.
The son definitely did some great things. So, yeah. But all right, cool.
Did you hit end stream yet?
No, not yet. All right. Anything else coming up from the Legend of Grayskull guys that people need to be aware of? Or
there's definitely going to be stuff. So we've got, we still got to talk about the trailer that dropped for Revolution. If nothing else, on the 25th, Revolution drops all episodes at once on Netflix. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of content coming up. We might even squeeze something out before then. So, yep. Make sure you're subscribed to us over on that YouTube channel, or that is also released as an audio podcast. So, wherever pods are cast, get on in there. Jesse, you got anything coming up on Shooting the Shelf on Sunday? I know you had to get rid of that co-host that got canceled, but
yeah. There, for anyone watching that has not seen the post already, there was a minor scheduling minor scheduling issue. So Eric Treadaway is going to be on next Sunday. As in this weekend, we've got Dave Bennett. And in 2 days from now, we've got Dave Bennett, who is a fellow Mythic Legions fan. Got to meet him at Legions Con this year. Cool guy. Was usually in the chat talking. So I was like, hey, come on and talk sometime. So we've got that.
Dave's the 14th then, the next Sunday.
This Sunday.
Dave is technically tomorrow at this point, at least in the time zone I'm in.
And Eric Treadaway is the 21st.
And Eric Treadaway is next 21st. Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you guys have a post going with questions for him that you are going to
I
ask every question that's
No,
posted.
we are
Absolutely
not.
not.
Going to ask
I
every
cannot believe you put that on there.
No,
You really can't believe I put that on there.
I can
In
totally
the
believe.
Cabal group, yeah. If that would have been in Legend Daddies, that would have been fine. But in the actual Cabal, I'm kind of shocked you did that.
I am shocked that you're shocked. Honestly,
I am also shocked that Jesse's shocked at your behavior.
I can't believe I actually checked the comments first to make sure no one else had posted it yet. Like I didn't want to be that guy that does a second post.
We're gonna play a game. Have you met the Duch?
Also, if you didn't watch our show last week, we unveiled our new theme song for Shooting the Shelf, done by the amazing Jeremy DeWitt. And we had the partial animation done. I don't know what the status is on whether that's going to be fully done, but either way, even the partial animation that Jesse's done is amazing. And that song is a banger. So if you haven't heard it, you will be able to catch that again this Sunday as well. So
Each and every Sunday night.
there you go. Tomorrow, for any Legions fans, Hedgehog and the crew for the Saturday Live, LeBron and Rygon, they'll be going live at 6 p.m. Eastern. And then later on, the premiere episode of Purple Gang Gang on their YouTube Purple Gang Gang channel.
I read that wrong every time I see
8 p.m.
it.
Eastern. And if you saw the episode that Jesse and I had with Van and Jordan, you know this is going to be fucking wild. So you'll want to tune in because there's no telling what'll happen. If you think that OffWorld gets crazy, man, those guys, they're a little nutty. So
how many, I don't know if I want to say episodes, how many minutes into the episode do you think before YouTube just like cuts them off?
I don't think that they'll get that.
You don't think so?
I don't think they'll get cut off, but I think
they stream copyrighted material. I think they'll be
yeah,
fine.
I think it's going to get wild though. I think it's going to be hilarious and ridiculous and stupid all at the same time. So, yeah.
Good times.
Beautiful.
All right.
Well, that is it. And we'll see you next time on the OffWorld.
All right. Hit some buttons, Curtis.